No intro music today. Let's just see what happens. I've just pressed the button, go live. Let's see how long it takes before we get some people in. Plenty of comments already. 11 people in. That was quick. It should be a good one today. I got lots of stuff lined up for you. Give it a few minutes and I'll start saying hello to everybody. Normally I've got a 3-minute introduction. I've got 100 people by the time I start talking, but just a little bit of an experiment today. Just hit go live and just wait to see how long it takes people to come into the stream. So somebody's gone out now, so we've got 10. Okay, I think this time of the day for the stream is actually good for people who live in some parts of Australia. Just turn this air conditioning down a little bit. That's better. Just got back from Pattaya yesterday. That was fun. I'll talk about that a little bit more into the stream when we've got some more people in. Almost 50 now. Good ride down there on the old ADV. It was better. It's strange. When I went down to Kanchanaburi, it was more fun going down. And the same with Pattaya. It was more fun going down on the bike. Coming back was... you're on a different road completely. So I come in on Sukhumvit like 100, and the traffic's just as bad down there as it is up near Nana, so you got about 6 miles of getting through traffic, whereas I don't get that when I'm on the toll road. I just come off near Bummangrad on Soy 1 and I'm straight in. So, but I'll definitely do it again. It was fun. Okay, I'm going to start saying hello to the people who are in already. And as more and more people come in, I'll tell you what's going on today, because I've got a few competitions lined up, and I'll tell you about it later because I'll only have to repeat myself. So first off, hi to Hobson's Choice. Thank you for correcting that. I didn't notice, did it really quick. If you remember when I did a stream last week, unscheduled screen, I didn't even put a thumbnail up. And the problem with not putting a thumbnail up and announcing it, what happens is you go live and nobody knows you're live unless they happen to be on YouTube, and then they'll see, they'll get a message saying that I'm live. But if I put a thumbnail up and I schedule it, I think 20 minutes, half an hour before the live stream, anybody who's subscribed to the channel, it sends them out a notification, and that didn't happen last time. So I thought I'd put a thumbnail up and schedule it this time. So thank you to Hobson's Choice for letting me know about the mistake on the thumbnail. Anders Bergman, happy Sunday all. How you doing? I forgot to do the currencies today, but I actually put up a video from I think it was the UK. You get about 42 something at Super Rich. I think that's what it was. I just uploaded a short today. Kevin Lawless, how you doing? Nice to see you in the stream. Billy Olsop, good morning from Chile, UK. Do you know what? It's so hot. I'm not whinging, but it's so hot. The reason I've decided to do another live stream this afternoon, because the scheduled ones are usually in the evening, aren't they? The reason I've decided to do one this afternoon, it's just so hot. I went with a friend on the BTS. We went down to 33/1 and had a Sunday roast in the Royal Oak there. They do really good. It's quite reasonably priced and very good Sunday roast. I had the chicken again, and popped into Villa supermarket, get a few bits and pieces. My back was just, coming back. We had to walk a little bit, but coming back, my back was just absolutely sweat running down it. It's just so hot. I mean, I shouldn't really whinge about it if you're in a cold climate at the moment. But it's very, very hot compared to a week ago. Billy, I said hi to you, didn't I? Richard Woolley, good morning. How you doing? Remy, how you doing? Are you still in Bangkok? Because the last time you messaged me when I was a bit busy, I didn't kind of quite understand if you were just passing through or you're still here. I've got a few free spots this week if you want to meet up. Rio, good morning, gentlemen. Looking forward to a great stream today. Let's hope it is. Paul Hoskins, as always, how you doing? David, is that David who I met yesterday in the Golden Ferret, or another David? I think it's another David, because this David's from another message there from Sydney. Okay, I met another guy in the Golden Ferret yesterday. How you doing, Fitzy? Good to see you in. Obviously, you're in Australia, so the time's good for you. Amen. It's 12:30 a.m. Okay. It's Sunday tomorrow. It's Sunday today, isn't it? Some people have to get up for work, I guess. How you doing, XX Sly Boy? Mr. Superstar, hello, Peter. Nice to have an ad hoc stream. Yeah, I better make sure, because I did one last Sunday before, didn't I? People will start to expect them if I do them too regular. But I do enjoy them, so no problem. Martin, how you doing? Swadi, Peter, what a nice surprise. Thank you. Western Australia there, says XX Slide Boy. Perbert, how you doing? It was nice to meet you again, and thank you for the gift that you gave me in Debt 5. Very much appreciate it. I'm not actually going to open it. I've just put it on the shelf because it looks good, so I'm just going to leave it there. So I'll it's not wasted. It's in a good place. Eventually, I'll drink it one day, I guess. I do like a drop of bubbly, but I don't want to just drink it for no reason, Amen. It's 12:30 in California. Still listening to you, sir. Thank you so much, Aman. I think it's Aman. Mr. Superstar, perfect timing. 4:30 p.m. here in Perth, Australia. So I should get a few Australians in today. GC, hi Peter. Wow, that's early from the usual. I actually prefer doing streams in the afternoon here in Thailand. It's much more relaxed. But the thing is, I'm trying to catch a certain audience. So I kind of start 8 o'clock Thai time, and I can grab a few people in the UK and other bits of the world. But I actually prefer to do these ones in the afternoon. If they're good, I'll just keep going, and if they're not that great, then I'll stop. Darren Howe, good morning, Peter, from a sunny, chilly Suffolk. Okay, hi, Darren. Aman again. See you soon. Coming to Thailand soon. Booking on Monday. Good stuff. I'm planning to go to Cambodia at the end of the month. I think I mentioned last time I'm going with somebody else. And I've been to Cambodia about 25 years ago. I haven't been back since. But I want to go to Siem Reap, go around Angkor Wat, a few of the temples, do the tourist bit. I've heard very, very good reports about prices. And it's not Thailand. I mean, they don't have the infrastructure like Thailand does. But the other reason I think I mentioned it last time. The other reason I want to go to Cambodia is as a backup plan, because the rules are always changing here. They might say you've got to keep 2 million in an account. You don't know what's coming. I don't want to particularly head back to the UK. So if for some reason I ever have to leave Thailand, I've got a backup plan. I think out of all the Southeast Asian countries, Cambodia would probably be the best bet for me. It's cheap there as well. Apparently, you can get a long-term visa for $300 a year. There's no 90-day reporting. You don't have to put money in the bank. It's just $300, and you can stay there for a year. And my friend who's there said it's on happy hour. It's 27 baht for a beer. 27 baht. Out of happy hour, it's a bank busting 37 baht for a beer. So not bad. He said everything else is about the same price, accommodation and bits like that. But apparently you can hire a tuk-tuk for the day for about $4, take you around and everything. I'm looking forward to it. Dare say I'll make 1 or 2 videos from there as well. Max Rack Attack. I hope I don't mess this one up. I'll slaughter your name. Max Rock at Ansky. Okay. Hi, Peter. How good is it to have a live stream at a respectable hour, 7:30 p.m. here in Australia? Yeah, so it's a good time for Australians, isn't it, in the afternoon here? Vietnam Viking. Hi, Peter. Coming to Bangkok again in May. I can't wait. One thing, the pollution's cleared up a lot. The last stream I was talking about the high pollution levels here all over Thailand because of the burning and stuff. And it's at some days we were up to 195 p.m., even higher. I've seen somebody sent me, I don't know if it was fake, but it was like 400. I don't think it probably went that high, but it was about 200, and it's dropped down now. I just looked at it. I'll have another quick look now on IQ Air. When I last looked, I think it was 67. That's not bad. It's still over what it should be, but it's not bad for Bangkok. IQ Air. The weather station is at Soi Samahan, wherever that is. Yeah, 68. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. No, you'll have to take my word for it. So that's not bad for. I would go to the park in that. I hadn't been in the park for about 2 weeks. Ethereal Dreams like on the way in, Peter? Yeah, give us a like if you're here, guys. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Dixon Orme is pumping it through. Remy, Peter, I live permanently now in Bangkok since the last 6 months. Do you know, I thought you said something like that. Well, let's meet up in the week. Let me see. I'm meeting somebody. I could do Thursday. Thursday or Wednesday. Maybe have lunch. We'll go somewhere and go and have lunch. You got my QR code and everything, haven't you? Just give me a shout and we'll sort something out. I didn't realize you were here permanently. I must have missed that last time. Okay. No, I'm not even going to try and pronounce your name. I put it up on screen because I know what will happen. It will come out wrong. I think it's Netchanok. Netchanok. Hopefully, I'll just do the one name, okay? Hello, Peter. Having a clean out at home, out with the old and in with the new. Yeah, always good to have a clean out. My ex-wife was terrible. She'd buy some. This is what she used to do, right? She's a real hoarder. So you get a dinner set, like 4 plates, 4 side plates, cup sauce, and a whole dinner set, right? So over the years, they start to get chipped, don't they? And a bit stained. Even if you wash them out good, they get, a bit brown inside and things from years of use. So what she'd do, she'd go out and buy a new dinner set, a complete set. Nothing wrong with that. But she wouldn't throw out the old one. I said, why don't you throw the old one? Oh, I might need it, And I'm like, well, why will you need it? You bought a new set. And it was like that. Anything she bought, she wouldn't. I used to have to go around the house in the day when she was at work with a black bag and look around and, chuck all this stuff out that we just didn't need. 6 months later, she said, where's those dinner plates I put right at the back there? I don't know. Yeah, good to have a clear out. And I presume you're Thai then. That's nice to see you in the stream. It's up to you. Hey, Peter from England. If the heat's too much, you're welcome to swap. No, I don't want to swap, thanks. But thanks for the offer. David, to be honest, I prefer this time, about to eat dinner. Okay. It's like I said the last time, whatever time you do a stream, you can do it 6 in the morning, 6 in the evening or midnight. Somewhere around the world, it's going to be good for somebody. It's going to be a terrible time for somebody else, isn't it? I don't know why I'm sweating. Let me get this room temperature down a bit. Put that right down to 22. Yeah. Oh, God, I feel myself starting to get wet, and I'm indoors with the air conditioning. Dutch Farang, how you doing? Fitzy, this time of day is very good to catch Australians and New Zealanders. Okay, that's good to know. I think it's very, very early in the UK. What's the time now? 3:45, so it'll be 3:45. I can't remember if it's 6 hours or 7 hours behind in the UK time now, 'cause it's changed, but let's just say it's still 7 hours. 3:45, 3:45, 2, 1, 12, 11, time 9. Okay, it'll be 8:45 in the morning. If it is 6, it'll be 9:15. Right, Frederick, how you doing? Hello from Samui. Nice and sunny now, as always. Not too hot and windy. So I've been reading Samui is getting Koh Samui, one of the islands, obviously off the coast of Thailand, is doing a roaring trade at the moment. Now, high season's gone, but apparently they're continuing to have a high season because there's a drama on Netflix called The White Lotus. And a lot of people in Europe are watching this, especially UK. They're watching this. They find out that it's Koh Samui and they want to go and have a look. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a drama, series, we call it. And apparently Koh Samui are having a really good season because of this program, The White Lotus, which is good. Oh, look, you got a fan there. Look, a fan. Hello, Dutch, handsome man. There you go. Didn't call me a handsome man, did she? Right, Frosty. Hi, Peter, from a very foggy Sunday morning in the Netherlands. Fog, yeah, God. Billy also, Peter, can't wait for Cambodia vlogs. I enjoy it there. I don't know how they're going to go on because I'm going to be doing the tourist bit and I'm going with somebody else. So, I mean, I will do some bits and pieces, obviously, but I don't want to spend the whole 3 or 4 days just doing nothing but filming. I want to kind of enjoy it as well. But I'm sure I'll get to do some. Ray Ross, good afternoon, Peter, all the way from Pattaya. I just got back, Ray, yesterday. It's busy, isn't it? I thought it was quite busy down there. What did I notice down there that was different this time? I was just trying to think. I'll tell you what I was going to tell you. So let me just say thank you very much to Macmillan Nurse. Thank you very much for that out there in the Middle East. Appreciate that. Get a beer later with that one. So what I did notice down there now is just the amount of Russian people. I mean, it's everywhere. I went down on the scooter. It's really nice having my own scooter in Pattaya because I went out of town to a place called Bang Sarai and another place called, I think it's called Keel Beach, even further than Bang Sarai, which is half an hour away and 40 minutes away. But this one place, not Bang Sarai, the other place that I can't pronounce properly, it was absolutely packed with people and they were all Russian, okay? Families. I went to get a meal because it was about 2:00 and they've got a big open restaurant there. Picked up the menu, Thai and Russian. There was no English, okay? A few pictures and stuff. I was able to order some food in Thai. Same thing in Pattaya. Went to a couple of night markets. There's one on the beach road. You can get beer and buy, chicken on the stick and all that sort of stuff. Full of Russians. The one where the aeroplane is, the 747 on the second road there, full of Russians and Chinese. But I've really noticed a lot of Russians, a lot. And the businesses are kind of catering for them now. They're kind of putting the signage up in the menus in Russian and stuff. And just walking along the beach road, I like to walk of an evening. Like if I don't get the BART bus back, like if I go, sometimes I like to have the salad bar at the, I forget the name of the mall, the big mall, not Central Festival, that's halfway down. The big mall just before Walking Street where Ripley's is, that one there. They've also got one in Terminal 21. I go for the salad bar in Sizzler. It's about 200 baht. And I like to walk back. Normally I'm staying in Soy 2 or Soy 5. So it's a good old walk. And I've noticed, like, I just hear the Russian accent all the way back to the hotel. There's just literally thousands of them there now, It's just an observation. I'm just letting you know if you're going down there. Barry Bluebird. How you doing, Barry Bluebird? Cold in the UK. Here comes summer. We're only in March now, aren't we? Yeah, I can't believe it's my birthday next month. I'm going to be 65. It just creeps up on you. You know, and the older you get, the faster the year seems to go. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm on my third year out here. When I arrived here this time, I was 62. I still feel like I'm 62, but I'm 65. I mean, when I was a kid, if I was 15, 14 and somebody said, oh, yeah, he's 65, you think, oh, his days are limited. He's a really old man. He's not got long left now. I suppose I am, but I think we live longer now, don't we? But 65, I mean, when you say it, it's hard. I don't feel 65, you know. I mean, I suppose I look 65, but I just don't feel 65. You know, it's a weird feeling. Probably feel like I'm 50. That's what I feel like. Don't feel younger than that. I had a friend who went to get some. He's about my age, but a few years older than me, and he got some surgery done, you know, so he could get the old facelift, something like that. But he had his eyes done, and he said to the surgeon, he said, "Look, he's 67." He said, "Look, I want to look 20 years younger. I don't want to look 40 years younger because otherwise you have the plastic Mickey Rourke face, won't he?" I'm not going to have any done. I've decided I'm not going to have any done. Right, Toby Price says, CM Reap is pretty modern these days. I had a tuk-tuk for the day. It was $5, gave the lad $10 and fed it and watered him. Yeah, excellent. I mean, $5 for the day. I mean, it's not bad, is it? You wouldn't get to the end of the street for $5 here in Bangkok. Right, man, Pete, I'd love to grab a cold room with you. What's your schedule for the next 2 weeks? I don't have one, basically. I live from day to day. The only schedule I keep is I do these, I mean, don't laugh, but I do these consultations, you know, where guys who've never been out here, they want to know, you know, where's a good place to stay, apartment, girls, prices, all that sort of thing. So they book me for an hour or two and we just talk. It's like a live stream like this. So he'll be on one side, I'm on the other side, and we just talk. And, you know, normally they'll have a list of questions. I'll talk about anything as long as it's legal. And then, so that's the only schedule I keep. I've got a few of those booked in. Like I've got one tomorrow with a guy at 2. I've got one on Thursday night at, what time is that? 8 o'clock at night. But pretty much the best thing to do is just give me a shout when you're here. And if I'm free the next day, I'll say, let's meet for lunch or something. Met a lot of people, especially in Pattaya, a lot of people. Let me put up a couple of recent. What I'm doing now is any viewers I meet, I take a picture with them and I'd like to put them up in the live stream. I'm going to put these up on the scheduled live stream as well, because I know the guys I met, they probably won't be watching this stream, but they'll definitely be watching next week's stream. Hang on, where's my logo gone? There we are. Right, so let me put these pictures up for you. So these are two guys. I mean, my shirt's a bit loud. I'll warn you now. It's actually screaming. I'm on holiday, right? But that's a guy called Doug. Very nice guy. Treated me to breakfast. I forget the name of the place, but it was probably one of the best breakfasts I've had in Pattaya, but it's not cheap and you have to book. What was the name of it? Amari Resort, something like that. But that's Doug. If you see this, Doug, it was great to meet you. And like I say, shirt's a bit loud, isn't it? But never mind. And then I met up with do you remember Rob, the taxi man? He's a black cab driver. He's been watching the stream. He's been watching my channel for literally since I started, 5 years. Always generous with the super chats and stuff. I met him and Franco. Now it's not a very good picture because the light was behind us, but that was in the bar. As you're coming down Soy 8 toward, it's only 2 days ago. As you're coming down the Soy 8 towards the beach road, and you took the first bar on the left. It's a big bar. It's always busy all day, and around 5 or 6 o'clock, it's very, very, very busy. So that's Rob on the right, the cab driver there. He's having a good time, and he had 4 beers. I walked out with him, and he was already slurring. He doesn't hold a lot of drink, and of course Frankel there in the middle with a big beam and smile. He doesn't drink at all. He's got a lemon water or something, soda Manal, they call it, lime. It's like fizzy lime. And me, of course, with my San Miguel and the same shirt on because it was the same day. Right, I'd met Doug for breakfast and these guys about 5:30. So I really like meeting people down there. Got recognised by a few people as well. Now, here's a blast from the past. Yours Travels. How you doing? Morning, Peter and gang. I hope you got your scooter sorted, buddy. Last time I was jumped in, everything was rushing, put me off. It's not that it put me off so much, but it's just if they bump into you and stuff, it's not like we'll say, oh, sorry about. It's not normal for them to say sorry. You know, to bump into you, just keep walking. You know. But yeah, I went down to since you brought it up, yours. Steve. I went down to Pattaya on the scooter. I'm planning to go to Hua Hin on the scooter as well. It was a good ride, but the thing is, the road, you're on a completely different road. You know, when you go down from Bangkok, you're on that toll road. There's no traffic lights, there's no junctions. You just bam, you're down there. But when you go down on the secondary road, you get good stretches of motorway, but you get a lot more trucks and scooters going across. And it was fairly safe. But coming back, it was so hot yesterday when I came back. I left Pattaya about 12:30, and I only had a t-shirt on. I didn't even going down. I wore a kind of thin coat to keep the sun off me, but I just oiled up. You know, it was like a butter-basted turkey by the time I got back, glimmering all over. It was good, but it was very tiring on the way back because, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, because you're on it's Sukhumvit Road basically. You get on Sukhumvit Road, it's straight down to Pattaya. It's the same Sukhumvit Road that's in Pattaya. It comes all the way up to Bangkok. And when I come back, it was Saturday afternoon, about 3:00. It's a pay week, you know. Everybody's just been paid, so you know what the Thais are like when they get paid. It's all the malls will be full and they'll be shopping. And I had to do about 6 miles on Sukhumvit Road, like in between cars, stopping at traffic lights. And yeah, I was pretty tired by the time I got back, but I still haven't made up my mind whether I'm going to sell my car or not, because you know the car's, it's lovely going down in the car. You've got air conditioning. It's a nice little car. But the bike is fun, and the bonus of going down there on the bike is I've got a bike while I'm down there. And you know, we whizzed over to Jumtien, and I went, like I said, I went to Bang Sarai, which is a beautiful, beautiful coastal town. I went to another one further on. You go through a big naval base. I forget the name of it. It's something like Gale Beach, something like that. And what it is, because this beach is, you have to go through a massive naval base. So when you go in, you leave your ID at the there's guards all the way around, you know, with the tin hats, military. You leave your ID, and then the road's about a good few miles through this military base, and you pass all their parade ground, accommodation. You know, you're in a base basically, and then eventually you come out at the other end and you go to the beach, and it's a real nice beach. But like I said, I couldn't get a chair, just full of Russians. And then when you come back up, you stop at the other side of the road and you collect your ID and away you go. But that's a good thing about having the scooter down there. It was really, really good. Robot fan, Russians travel. By the way, Steve, good to see you in the stream, because I know you've been kind of keeping a low profile on YouTube. There's a few idiots out there have been kind of saying things, right? Good to have you back. Robot fan, Russians travel with families and they have beautiful women with them. Do they? Where were they? I didn't see a lot of them in Pattaya. Right, Brian, FDZ, is it? I am seeing Russians are in Malaysia and Singapore. They are migrating out from Russia. Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not Russia bashing. I'm just stating that there are a lot of Russians all over Thailand now. I mean, people say, you know, there's a lot of them in Phuket, you know. I'm just going to show you a little clip, and as we're on this subject, I'm not going to mention where the guy's from or anything, but this is how you shouldn't really behave in Thailand like this. So let me just give you the background on what this clip is. And, you know, the guy doesn't deserve to be here, really, whether he's drunk or not, I don't know. So I'll just give you a background. So what it is, there's a Thai guy, not middle-aged, probably, I don't know, he's a Thai guy, okay, he's not a kid. He stood on the edge of the road on his phone, and he's parked his scooter. I think it's his scooter anyway. This guy who you're going to see walks along, tries to get on his scooter. So obviously the Thai guy kind of like defends his scooter. He's not going to let somebody drive off on his scooter, right? This guy tries to punch him, or he does punch him. You'll see in a second. And then the Thai guy is kind of not really defending himself. And then he takes his cap and starts beating this Thai guy with his cap. And he just walks off. No shirt on as well. Just have a quick look at this. It's a short clip. Total idiot. ไปกบให้รถที่ดับอยู่แล้วรถเขาจะเอาไปเฮ้ยไม่ใช่กับแม่ช่วยเราจะมาจับมันปลาโยนหัวจะเข่าเมื่อกี้ไปตบหัวคุณอยู่ในรถที่ดับอยู่Now, it does go on a bit because he walks down to the end of the road and they keep filming him. He has a go at somebody else, but that's the gist of it. But just a total idiot, you know, and it's like we're getting more and more people come to Thailand now who act in this manner, you know, like these guys who walk around with the invisible carpets under their arms. You know, look at me, I'm tough. You know, I'm not moving out the way of the pavement. You have to. Johnny Bravos, I call them. There's just so many more of these people, and there's more and more incidents happening. And I keep abreast of the news here in Thailand. And it's just, it's kind of embarrassing, even though I'm not in it. It just gives us a bad name, as foreigners. There's more and more foreigners behaving badly, as it were, and the Thais just look down on us. And I just wish people would come here and behave themselves. The majority of people do. The majority of foreigners, wherever they're from, they come here and they behave themselves. But you always get that small percentage of idiots who like that guy we've just watched. I mean, that poor Thai guy, he's just parked up looking at his phone, and the guy assaults him. He was really lucky there wasn't a bunch of Thai guys like tuk-tuk drivers or something, because if they'd have seen him, they'd have jumped on him and hammered him, and he wouldn't have walked away, I guarantee it. David, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. For the whiskey fund. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know about the whiskey fund, but I'll definitely get a couple of beers. Thanks a lot, David. Right, let's carry on and saying hello. Let me just tell you something I'm going to do this week. I hope it doesn't piss the members off, right? So, I do 2 streams every Sunday, so I do a lot more interaction on the member stream because the people are paying to get into that stream. And I do a lot of new competitions that I used to do during COVID, and I stopped doing them, but I still do them for the members. So I've got Spot the Ladyboy, where I put a normal lady and a ladyboy. The idea of this game is just tell me which one is the ladyboy. It's difficult sometimes. Spot the Thai girl. I put different Asian girls up, and you've got to guess which one is a Thai girl. I do a manga minute, brand new manga minutes now. I don't rerun the old ones. And just some jokes I tell, and some other bits and pieces. I thought what I'd do this week, everything I did in the member stream last Sunday, I thought I'd do them competitions. I thought I'd run them for you guys today so that you can see the sort of things the member streams, the sort of things I do in the member stream, which are different to the regular streams. And to kick us off, to get started, I'm going to do 2 of these on this stream. Let's do a manga minute. Do you remember the manga minute during COVID? I still do them, brand new ones every 2 weeks for the members. Now, I do warn you, because my microphone's up there, you've probably got your volume turned up. So when this starts, the music will blast really loud. So just have your fingers on the button, get ready to turn the volume down, and enjoy this. It's actually 2 minutes 4 seconds, but I still call it the manga minute. And this was one I did. This one I did about this. This was the first new one I did when I introduced it again, and then I've got last week's manga minute for you a little bit later on. Okay, so enjoy this. Yeah, I got another one of those for you later on. So I'm still running these in the members stream. Okay, I'll probably get a load of crap off people now, because when I used to do them in the regular stream, I used to get guys right in like calling me all sorts of names for showing them, but it's just for fun, they're too serious, some people. And talking of patio and people getting drunk, if you are going to patio, be really, really careful, because you might drink too much and end up like these guys. If we can get them up. Jesus, what a way to get into. Nice of the police to put the umbrella there so the guy didn't get sunburnt, right? Okay, who's that? Somebody else give me a super chat there. Let me just say thank you to Perbert. Thank you very much. I was glad I was. Did I get something this week? My memory's so bad. And I've forgotten the name of your friend that I met with you. John, was it? Yeah. Thanks again for that. Right, Barry Bluebird, thank you very much for that super chat. Well appreciated. Right, let's go back into see what you guys are saying. Let's go back to where we left off. I'm probably way behind in these comments now. Let's start off with okay, I've done all them. Okay, I'm going to start off. If I missed you, apologies. You can do it again because I'm quite far behind. So I'll just say, DC Falcon, hi Peter, you're looking thinner. I'm hanging around the 99 kilos. If I go over 100, I starve myself for a couple of days. You know, I don't want to go back up to 108. You know, I can actually wear clothes like this now. When I was 108, I couldn't buy nice polos. They were from MBK. You know, they hang on you like tents. These actually fit. Edward Javia, how you doing? Is humidity bad in Bangkok now? There's always humidity here. There's always humidity. It's always, the humidity point is about 82 to 88. But at the moment, it's the blistering sun that gets you. You know, you go outside and it's just so hot. Even on the scooter yesterday coming back, I mean, okay, I'm doing 100 kilometers an hour and I've got the wind, but it's hot wind going over, you know, and it was so hot, really hot. That's why high season is around December, you know, because that's when it does drop down to about 28. Then it gets quite pleasant. But I'm not whinging about it. I mean, I'd rather be here than in the cold UK, but it is just so hot in the afternoons. I know I've got a friend. He lives here. He doesn't come out until him and his Thai girlfriend won't leave the apartment before 4:30, 5 o'clock at night. I mean, they're nighttime people. They stay out till like 3 in the morning. I don't, but that's when they'll start their day. They just hate the you know, the heat. A nice time of the day is if you can get up early and you know, you get out there about 6 o'clock in the morning, when 6:30, just as it gets light. It's very, very pleasant, you know, not hot and not very humid. Kylie, is it? Kyle, air quality about 73 here, average. Yeah, okay. It was 66 here. Depends where you live as well. I've got a friend who lives over at, well, he's a viewer and a friend, I guess. He lives on the junction at Asok, that very, very junction. And I'll look at IQ Air, and I live fairly close to Benjamin Park. And his is always higher than mine by at least 10 to 15, 10 to 20 actually. PM, the PM level is always higher where he is than where I am, because I've got the park next to me and I'm at the end of a quiet soy. And he's on the junction, the busy junction that's always busy with cars. So I guess that's why. Michael Ward, 8:40 a.m. in the UK. Wiggle DLT, thanks, Peter. Great time for us Aussies. Good stuff. Toby Price, Thais are hoarders too. If I try to throw out anything out, she hides it. She's got clothes she would never fit into, but keeps them on the chance she lost weight. So, you know, I have to keep referring to my ex-wife, my Korean wife. The day I met her, when she was 19, she was wearing a particular dress, okay, a Western dress. She was 19, okay. That dress today, she's 6 years younger than me, so she's 59 now. That dress, well, I don't know about today, 2 years ago when I was still living with her, nearly 3 years now, the dress that I met her with when she was 19 was still hanging in her wardrobe 50 years on. Not 50 years, what we're talking about, 30 years on. And I used to say, and it's not just because she met me on with that dress on, that it's nostalgic or anything. She's got lots of dresses from all the way period. I mean, I had one double wardrobe. We had fitted wardrobes at the end of the, you know, big bedroom, and I had to put poles, 2 sets of poles. So she had two double wardrobes, and I installed chrome poles in the middle, so she was hanging them on top and in the middle, and it was still crammed to capacity. Nothing goes out. Shoes, Imelda Marcos, don't make me laugh. You should have seen our cupboards, you know. And I've 2 girls, 2 daughters, and a wife. I mean, the cupboard, it was a joke. You know, I was always moaning about it. Perhaps that's why she wanted me out. She used my space to put her shoes and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of, it's not just Thais and Koreans and all the rest. A lot of women are hoarders. I think guys are more practical, aren't they? You know, I like to know where everything is, and I don't like to have to go through loads of rubbish to get to it. Scott Green, hi Peter, coming over in March 10th for a holiday, going to Pattaya and Pai and Chiang Rai from New Zealand. Well, you'll have a good time. You'll have a good time. Hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, the pollution will stay low, like it has been the last couple of days. Well, low for Thailand anyway. Scott Green, hi Peter. Coming over March 10th for holiday, going to Pattaya. Oh, I've just read that, haven't I? Right, BKK Confidential. What happened? I'm not going to get into that one. I don't think it wasn't at the pub anyway. There was an incident. No, I'm not even going to talk about it. I'll put it up so you can have a look. Okay, there was an incident that happened that's on the internet, and that's all I'll say. I did see it, but I don't really want to talk about it. Right, time traveler, 12 days until I arrived, either in the land of smiles. I'm not looking forward to meeting you. Your friend Dale from Canada. I think you meant to say you are looking forward, else you wouldn't have left the message. 12 days, let me read that again. Look, 12 days until I arrived, either in the land of smiles. I'm not looking forward to meeting you. That's got to be a typo, Dale, right? I mean, you're not going to put that up there. Brian FDZ, good evening from Singapore. How you doing, Brian? Rob, good morning, Peter, from a cold North Carolina, 5 degrees Celsius, and a bit early, 3:45 a.m. Hopefully it'll warm up for you. 3:45, middle of the night, isn't it? Brian FDZ, Russians are running away from Russia. I don't think they all are. I mean, I think it's people always say the same. They always say they're draft dodgers. When I put up a 1 minute short when I was at that beach, I was talking about, and I just swung the camera and I said, look, they're all Russians. And the comments on that video was all, running away from the war, draft dodgers and all that. And while I'm sure there is a percentage of guys who do that, it was mostly families, like you could see they had young children with them, girls. So I'm sure it's a good mix. I think I'm way behind on these now. Let me, right. Frederick, here are more tourists than before the pandemic. Traffic is terrible. Sometimes a day, so many Farang on scooters driving like hell. Phuket's got I know you're talking about Pattaya, but Phuket's got a real big problem with congestion now. The population has gone really high and the roads are gridlocked. The locals are complaining about it. I don't know what they're going to do to sort it out. Remy, Peter, did you find your new room in Pattaya? Yeah, I'm going to do a video. I stayed in a place called the Selection Hotel. It's kind of in between Soi 5 and Soi 6, and it's behind that McDonald's there. I don't want to say anything here. It was kind of, it was all right, you got to read my face, but I've taken, like I always do when I stay in a different hotel, I've taken video of the room, the breakfast, the pool and that sort of thing. You can have a look at it. I paid 1,200 baht for it. What Rennie's talking about is I'd initially gone down there and I was checking out on Friday. I was going to have lunch and then come back to Bangkok. But then I was on the beach and I thought, hang on a minute, Friday, and it's a payday weekend. I'm going to be stuck in traffic, even on a bike. It's going to be terrible. So I wanted to extend for a night. And the hotel where I was staying, really nice hotel, Blue Sky Resort on Soi 5. A little bit, it was 1,500 baht without the breakfast, so a little bit expensive because I had the breakfast with it last time, but I just got the Golden Ferret. But anyway, so I went to reception. I said, look, I want to stay one more night. Is that okay? And they said, well, we're fully booked. So I had to find another room. And I was walking down to the beach and I've seen the hotel. I thought, I've walked past this so many times, but I've never really noticed it's a hotel. It's not really registered. I've looked at it and walked past, but it hasn't registered as a hotel. And I just walked in. I said, have you got any rooms for tomorrow night? Yes, we have. How much? 1,200. No breakfast. I said, "Oh, book me in." I didn't even bother with the Golden. I was scared I wouldn't be able to get a room. But yeah, it's a long answer to your question there, Remy. Billy also, Bangkok. I watched that video where he was swinging at Thai men. I think he was lucky not to get hurt. He ended up on his backside. Okay. Scott G, greetings, Peter. You're looking healthy for 65. Thanks. I won't get my head through the door again, Scott, if you keep giving me compliments like that. Peter, you're looking good. Thank you. Beyond. Greetings from, you're still in Hua Hin, are you? I'm planning to go down there when I get back from Cambodia. I'm going to go down on a scooter. That'll be the longest ride because it's about 4 hours down there. You have to keep stopping every hour or so because you know the dust in the air. I've got it's not a full face helmet, but I've got a tinted visor, and I put earplugs in because even at 100 kilometers an hour, it's noisy. The wind and everything. The 160, I'm glad I got it and I didn't get the 350 because any faster than 100 kilometers an hour would feel kind of unsafe here in Thailand. And 100 kilometers a mile, on a 160, you feel like you're going a lot faster. And it can do the job. And I wasn't flat out, not by a long chalk. Right, Hobson's Choice. Hello, folks. Hope we are well. Fitzy again. I have a photo with you on my phone somewhere, Peter. I can send it in. Yeah, send it to me. My email address is in the description somewhere, and I'll stick it up on the. That must have been a good year ago, at least. I'll stick it up for next year. I haven't seen Franco in yet, or Damien and Franco are both in patio at the moment. I did have a look for a. I said I was looking for a kind of holiday. A room down there to keep as a holiday place, 5,000 baht a month. So I went to look at a few of them, and every single one of them were full. Probably with bar girls renting them. I don't know, but I'm kind of giving up on that idea now because I don't want to really be paying 10,000 baht for a room. Right, Robot Fan, on your pictures, it's noticeable that your arms look in better shape and muscle build is noticeable. Do you know? I'll just talk about it very briefly. That's amazing. So I started lifting. I haven't done it since I went to patio. I'm planning to go after the stream to lift some weight. So when I looked at myself in pictures, my arms were very thin. Okay. And somebody suggested doing light weights. I didn't want to get into a whole routine. It's going to take me an hour to do it because I'll stop doing it. I know what I'm like. So I do half an hour on the running machine. I just walk briskly just to get the old heart pumping. And I thought, right, I'm going to do 2 exercises. I'm going to do curls and I'm going to do one where I pick it up and I lift my arms like that. And I do 3. I started off doing 3 sets of 10 on the second smallest weights. And last week when I finished, I was up to 25 pounds. They're in pounds, not kilos. They're the biggest dumbbells you can get. And I was doing 3 sets of 12 and 15 on the end. And I'm not on 25 kilos for these weights because that's a really hard one. But I'd only been doing it about 3.5 weeks. Now, I got skinny arms, right? Now, this is 3.5 weeks. I mean, it's nothing really much, right? But I'm not flexing, okay? And that's 3.5 weeks. So I'm going to get back into it today. And it's not because I want to look like Johnny Bravo or impress the ladies or anything like that. It's just when you get old, you look old, don't you? And I see guys, like when I get on the back of BART buses in patio, guys who look after themselves, who work out in the gym, they look good, I mean, I'm not into guys or anything, believe me, really. But they do, you can see they look after themselves. The stomachs are flat, they do. I'm not talking about these guys who are real veins are pumping out and like that. I'm just talking about guys who do, they do some light weights every day. They eat properly, and the physique. You look at me and think, well, he's an old guy, but he looks good for his age, his body, and that's what I want to try and get. I want to try and get a bit of definition into my body, and just purely for health, really, and just to make myself feel better. If you feel better about yourself, then Right, Doug. Greetings from District 7, Saigon, where the natives are friendly. You're missing out, Pete. Yeah, I haven't ever said I'm not going to go there. Is that the same? It's not the same Doug I met in patio, is it? No. I will go there one day, but I can't go to everywhere at once. And Cambodia is first on the list. Air Asia, 5,100 baht return from Dong Muang. You can go from Suvarnabhumi as well. I'll tell you what, the last time I went to Cambodia, I was literally crapping myself. I didn't realize when I got on the plane, but I'm sure it's different now. But the plane I was on to go from Bangkok, the old Dong Muang airport, to the capital, I can't even pronounce it, capital of Cambodia, Phnom Penh. It was a retired 30-year-old Malaysian Airlines plane that was rented to the Cambodian airline. I forget the name of the airline. Okay, and I didn't think about it. I got in and they took off, and I started looking around the cabin, and I noticed the carpet was threadbare. And I lifted up my arms, and the cushions, they were threadbare, and the white, all the white had gone yellow because you could smoke in those days on planes. This is like the plane would have first flew 55 years ago. And I was extremely nervous that this thing would hold together because it just looked like an old beat up, that it wasn't going to make it. But obviously it did, else I wouldn't have got back. But yeah, Air Asia, they're supposed to be pretty good. Right. Frederick Satahip. Okay. Toby Price, the beach is. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got it. That's somebody else's telling me now. The beach is down at Satahip. That's it. I couldn't pronounce it. And somebody was trying to tell me how to pronounce it, but seeing it written, it's a lot easier. That's the one where you go through the naval base, right? Scott Green, is the exchange rate good or bad? I don't know where you're from, Scott. I haven't done the exchange rates today, but I walked past a super rich. I went to Soy 33 and at, was it Asok or the other one? One of the BTS stations, there was a super rich there, and they have a board that shows you all the currencies. And I did a 15-second clip, and I've uploaded it today. So if you're not, I can remember the UK was 42.20, something like that, and the dollar, I believe, was 30. I think it was 33. No, it was more than that. You go and have a look at that short. I only uploaded it today. It's on Facebook as well. Robot. Okay, I've done that one. DC Falcom. Hi, Peter. You're looking thinner. Thank you. Lance, what a disgrace. I hope he was arrested. Yeah, you're talking about the guy there. I think he walked away with it. Like I say, it was really, really lucky he didn't get a pasting from the ties. Yours, seen that video, definitely drugged up Eastern European guy. Yeah, let me play it again, Franny, to say if people haven't seen it, just really quick, just the bit where he's on the scooter. So whoever took that footage has got that on the phone, and that's evidence, isn't it? I hope they went to the police and reported it. Hopefully the guy gets arrested and deported. Absolutely out of order. Just can't stand people who do things like that. Right, David, Lance. Wow, I love those bikini clips. I named them the Monga Minute because when I was doing the streams in the UK, we used to get a lot of Mongas, and I've kind of moved away from that image now, but I still do it for some of the members. Along with some other stuff. So we'll do a couple of competitions later. I've already done this in the member stream last week, but it's just to give you a flavor of what the member stream is about, how it's different to the regular stream. Okay. Franco, you're always way behind. I know, Franco. I'm going to jump down some. Did you see the picture, Franco? I stuck it up. Let me put it up again just for you in case you didn't see it. There we are. That was 2 days ago. Do you remember? Do you remember who paid the bill? Yeah, good picture, but it's a bit bright outside. And it's a bit bright outside and it's a bit loud inside with my shirt there. But you talked me into getting them. And there's the one I had with Doug. That he invited me for breakfast. Good stuff. Right, okay, let me jump down. Max, thank you very much. Nice long comment there. There are calls to review the 60-day visa period based on the recent bad behavior of some tourists. Perhaps a wrong type of tourist has been attracted to Thailand since broccoli was made. It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely high on something, whether it was broccoli or something else. But yeah, I did read also that they were thinking of reviewing it. It's a shame for the people who come here and behave themselves, isn't it? You always get a few. Dr. Diff, where are all the ladies, live or AI? Where all those ladies, live or AI? Which ladies do you mean, Dr. Diff? Are you talking about my thumbnails or something else? Richie Rich. Afternoon, Peter. If you can be a bit more clear on that, I'll answer your question. How you doing, Richie Rich? Aussie Mike, nice bit of company you had last time in Pattaya style. In Pattaya. I won't say too much about that. Who's that? You must have met me then, right? Aussie Mike. Had nice bit of company you had last time in Pattaya. You know what? I meet so many people, Mike. If we met, I really apologize because it's like I'm trying to figure out who you are because I met a couple of guys in the Golden Ferret. I met Doug for breakfast. I met a couple of guys on the beach road. Walking down from the hotel, some guy grabbed me, not literally, but he's like, I suppose if you've got a channel about Thailand, you're going to get recognized by people who come to Thailand, aren't you? More so in Pattaya. Philip Williams, hello from the Philippines. How you doing, Philip? Gravel Billy 1, I listen to your podcast every night so I can sleep. Now, I don't know whether to take that as an insult or a compliment, but I think I know what you mean. Dal Viana, is it? Let's put your question up there. Hey, quick question. I'll go to Thailand end of April. First going to do the islands again, but then going to Chiang Mai on the 10th to the 5th. Just wondering, how is the weather there? Usually, would you know? It's hot, okay? It's March, April, May, June. It's going to be hot. But the good news is in Chiang Mai, it will be cooler than down in the south, Bangkok and down in the south, because Chiang Mai is surrounded by mountains and it's kind of pleasant up there. It's a lot more cooler than it is in Bangkok in the south. So you'll be fine. The good news is there's no rainy season. The rainy season is gone. However, saying that, we have had some sporadic rain. That was what was worrying me about coming down on the bike because they said 20% chance of rain, but luckily it didn't rain. But you'll be fine. Kylie says, a lot of them are. I work with some. They say they are avoiding it. Okay. Hanoi 75, I want to visit Pattaya, but I want to avoid Songkran. How many days does it last? Well, good news and bad news. So in Bangkok, Songkran usually lasts for three days maximum. It starts off like last year. It started off on the Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. By Monday morning, that's it, done and dusted. Generally, I don't go out of stock up and over everything because I've been doing it for years, and there's nothing worse than going out, getting a bucket of water thrown over you, and then going into a supermarket with ice cold air conditioning. It's horrible, but it is a lot of fun. If you're coming here on a holiday and you've never got involved in Songkran, that's the Thai New Year where they throw water over each other. You go down to Soi 4. Probably 500 people down there. They're all got electric water pistols, and there's trucks coming down, chucking ice. They put ice in the water, makes it even worse. But in answer to your question, it goes on forever in Pattaya. Last year, it went on for nearly 11 days because it's a party town, okay? Guys go down there to party. They go out in their shorts and their wife-beaten vests, right? And the girls, any excuse for a party. Christmas, they dress up as sexy Santas. Easter bunnies, they'll dress up. Songkran is the big one, the real big one. New Year's Eve, they dress up. So if you're going to Pattaya and you don't want to get wet, do not go for 10 days during Songkran, okay? Or get wet. Solar Life Portugal, how you doing? Riding on a scooter in Thailand is much safer than doing it in Vietnam, as far as we could tell. I'll tell you something else about something that's really strange in Thailand is it's very rare for people to toot their horn. I believe in Vietnam, they're constantly on the... I lived in India for a while, worked in a hotel in India, and everybody's on their horn, constantly on their horn, which they're not going anywhere. But they very rarely toot their horns here in Thailand. They only toot when... you might have a crash. Like I was on Sukhumvit, and you weave in and out the cars, and I always look. And this one time I didn't really look properly. I just kind of edged out, and there was a bike coming, and he tooted me, and I caught him in time. But they don't toot their horns very often. Once I hit a guy's mirror on my old Honda Click, he tooted at me. I just kind of did a one-handed Y, and luckily nothing else happened. Dog, 30 minutes per. Talk about the keep fit, right? So you're saying 30 minutes per day, morning before sleeping, results will come by themselves. I enjoy the weights, to be honest with you. And I find the running machine a little bit boring because when I go walking in the park, I think it's important to walk, at least if you don't do any heavy exercise. When I go to the park, I walk for a minimum of an hour to 2 hours because it's interesting. A lot of pretty girls. It's a nice place to walk. There's some nice scenery. There's nice nature there. You see all sorts of animals in there. Monitor lizards and fish when you're walking over the watery platforms. So it's interesting. Then you can migrate over to the track, which is always very busy. And I look at my watch. I think, blimey, I've been going 5 miles now. But on a running machine, okay, I've put headphones in. I've got my phone and everything. But basically, you're looking at a wall, and it's like you're constantly looking at that minute. It counts up in minutes how long you've done it. It's like, God, I've only done 10 minutes. I've got to do this 2 more times. It's just totally boring, but I force myself. If I really don't want to do it, I'll come off at 20 minutes, but that's really rare. If somebody's in the gym, if I'm up in the gym, it's in my apartment building, and there's a few guys I know, and somebody else is using another machine, and we get into a chat, then it's a lot more pleasant than being in there on my own. Gravel Billy, a 160cc. Yeah, I did a video on it. The Honda. I forgot what it's called now. The old one was a Honda Click. Is it VDR? God, my memory. Right. Reggie Vibes. Hi, Pete. I actually caught your live. Usually watch the streams later nowadays. Yeah, it's not a regular thing, this Sunday afternoon streams. I just try and do one now and again to catch a different audience. We've got about 200 and nearly 250 in. So it's the last one I did was pretty good. Okay. Praval Sharma. Good morning, Peter. Hope to see you in Bangkok. Yeah, give me a shout. If I'm free, I will meet you as always. Craig, you got arms like Louis I don't even know who he is. Ferringo? He must be a famous boxer, right? Or is he some really skinny dude off the TV that I've not heard of? Right, I can't say this name, so I'm going to put it up on screen. Okay, I won't put that. I'll take that off very quickly. I'm not sure what that means. Is that an exercise? Right, Frank Travels. Yeah, hardly. I wish I was like that. Mandoru. I can't read that one out either. Greetings from San Diego, California. Is it Mandoru? I can't pronounce your name. I'm really sorry. It's some names are really difficult to pronounce. Alonso. Do you have how own Thailand story? Not sure what the question is there. Do you mean do I have my own Thailand story? not with a Thai girl, no, if that's what you meant. Hobson's Choice, domestic flights on Air Asia from Dongmon use A320 aircraft and have some new A321s. Okay, that's nice to know. Ken Christopherson, hi Peter and gang, bit late, no problem. We'll keep it going for a while. It's only been an hour. Gravel Billy 1, you love to talk. Did your wife enjoy listening to you talk? We didn't. It's not that I love to talk. It's a bit difficult to do a live stream when you don't talk. What do you do? Just sit there in silence. Like, here's a live stream. Of course, I have to talk a lot. It's a live stream. My wife and I, unfortunately, didn't talk very much the last few years because we slept in separate bedrooms. It was just a case of, we were together 33 years and we just grew apart, So we're still friends. But it was just, no, we didn't talk much towards the end. She was at work all day. I was in my garage, which I'd converted into half into an office. When she came home, she was cooking and go up for a shower and she'd go up and watch a bit of TV in the room. So it was only on a day off, and on a day off, I was probably out doing something. Dennis, hi Peter. I will be in Bangkok in April, staying at the Mervynpik, nice hotel. Is it a decent hotel? Yeah, it's okay. Mervynpik's okay. Gravel Billy 1, never. Okay, I don't know what you mean. Okay. Max, I will be in Bangkok 3 weeks from today and then in Pattaya for 10 days of Songkran, right? Okay, so you obviously enjoy that. Mile High, anything you miss about the UK, Peter? Perhaps a little of the cooler weather. There isn't much as far as missing the UK. I don't really have any family there. I lost all my friends when I went to work overseas. I worked overseas most of my life in the hotels, so I don't really have any friends in the UK. When I went back and I was learning to fly and stuff, I had some acquaintances I'd hang around with, but I wouldn't call them close friends. My 2 daughters came over here. They'll come over again at some point, I guess. We got WhatsApp, we got Line. What do I miss in the UK? I miss being able to flick through the channels and understand everything that people are saying. I miss being able to go into a shop and really communicating properly with people. I miss that, the communication side. I do miss the walks with my dog. I used to love walking. And the good thing about England, when it's not raining, of course, is that the air's really, where I used to live in Northamptonshire, the air's really clean, and you go out and you really feel like you're breathing in good quality air, which I'm not here, unfortunately. I miss that. And I do miss some of the cooler climates. I remember coming out with the dog in autumn and somebody would have a fire in their garden a street away, but you just get a whiff of those burning leaves, or the same thing in spring. You've had winter and for the first time in the year, somebody cuts their grass and you get a whiff of that freshly cut grass, or they've been laying tarmac and I know it sounds weird, but just little things like that trigger certain things and memories. I kind of miss that, but not overly, not too much. I think the thing I miss the most, obviously my family, but after that, I would say my dog. I miss my dog. He was like my best friend. And when you're having a bad day, they're not in a bad mood, are they? Right, Toby Price. In Thailand, it's not polite to toot the horn. Even in the driving test film, it tells you 2 lights toots if you need to use it. I didn't know that. Scott Green, do you like condo or townhouses to rent? I think condos, it'd be very expensive to rent a townhouse here in Bangkok, but it's all condos and apartments. But I definitely, I'm planning to move down to Chatham, when I'm getting really old, like I'm 65 now, maybe, I hope I'm still around, but saying that in another 5 or 10 years, I'll move to Chatham. It's a very quiet seaside town, beach town. It's quiet from Monday to Friday. The Thais go down there on Saturday and Sunday. You can rent, I looked at a 2-bedroom house in Chatham, 5,000 baht a month. 5,000 baht for a house, and I'd like to get into a bit of gardening again, get another dog and walk him along the beachfront at night. And, then I would like to have a little townhouse. Yeah. But for the moment, it's practical only to have an apartment. Afternoon, Peter. Paul Scrath. Let's put that up there. All not caught you on a live stream for a while. Hope you're well. I am, Paul. I am. It's all down to the time difference, isn't it? Doug, Peter, time to get over to Vietnam. Phobia. It's great here in Saigon. I don't know what you think. Why you're thinking I don't want to go to Vietnam. That's the second comment where you said that. It's not I don't want to go. I will go. Of course I'll go. But when the timing's right, I've been here. This is my 3rd year now. I'm now planning to go to Cambodia for a few days. I was in Pattaya last week and Bang Saray, and I was in Hua Hin, Chatham. I get about a bit, but you know, I like to take my own pace. I'm not in a rush to do anything. I won't try and pronounce your name because I'll probably slaughter it. In private, you'll get arrested if you do it anywhere in Thailand. You can't, basically. It's not permitted. Max, is that Ben Shakiti Park behind you? Yeah, it's very close to where I live, actually. Yeah, that's the nature side of it. There's two parts to Ben Shakiti Park. Half of it is like what you're looking at behind me. It's all walkways and it's all natural, and there's natural habitats of animals in there. And then on the other side, where the Queen Surrogate Centre is, there's a running track. You know, there's a big man-made lake in the middle with waterfalls and stuff, and you know, you see a lot of Thais taking pictures in the evening, posing, you know, for Facebook, I guess. A lot of Thai girls, you know, they're in groups and they're all posing for pictures and making videos and things. Very nice. You can walk from here to Lumpini, not at the moment because they've closed they've locked the Green Mile. They're doing some work, but when it's open, you can literally walk from here to near on Lumpini Park. Thank you, Gravel Billy. I love your channel. The stories is where we started. I've noticed I've noticed, like, when I started, there was only Simon from Land of Smiles who was doing stories. He was the only one. And then I started doing them about 5 years ago. But I've noticed 3 or 4 channels have cropped up now with stories. Some of them sound vaguely familiar. Do you know what I mean? And I guess people just think it's an easy ride. You read out stories and, you know, you make money, and there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more work to it than that. You know, from looking at my channel, I don't just read out stories. There's a lot of work involved. But, you know, some of these guys, they just read it. Some of them won't even put their own face in there. You know, even when I use background videos, every other week I'll put myself in the corner so people can see the guy who's reading out the stories. But some of these guys, they won't even put themselves in the picture. You know, they just don't want to be, they want to be anonymous, but they want to be on YouTube. They think it's going to be an easy ride. Excuse me. URL Droid Superbot. At what age did you retire? How will you get a pension when you're an expat all your life and didn't pay into the UK pension? I understand the UK deducts from a payroll. Okay, so up until last year, I kind of, when I have worked in the UK, like when I left school at 15 years of age, okay, in 1975. In 1975, that's when you left school, you were 15, okay? And I worked in the UK probably until I was about, without leaving the UK, probably till I was about, I don't know, 22, 23, and then I probably left for a year or two, went back again. I had a few years where I was working, I had a job, and then I go back to the UK. So I had paid in enough payments into the system to qualify for a pension, but obviously getting close to my pension. Last year I was looking how many years I missed and all the rest of it. And I actually called up the Inland Revenue, and they said to me, and this was only 3 months ago, they said, well, look, because I was due to get £158 a week, which is peanuts, right? £158 a week. I think the most you can get is about £220 a week if you've paid in all your life. But I'd paid in enough qualifying years to get something. And the guy on the other end of the phone, he said, look, he said, you can pay off 7 additional years, missing years. That's the maximum you can pay off. He said, you can also go into last year's tax return and edit it and pay another year. And then you've got next year's. So that's what I did. And he gave me a code and everything, and I sent £1,000 off. I think it was just over £1,000. It was something like £1,070. And that got the 6 years qualified. I looked at it the next time, it had gone up. And then my accountants just edited last year's tax return in the UK because I still pay taxes on certain things in the UK. And so that's bumped it up a little bit. And then I'll pay my last year's national insurance at the end of next tax year, 2025, 26. And then I qualify for my pension. I'm going to get, if it's all paid up, like I think it will be, I'm going to get 198. And just to put that in today's rates, I mean, it's not enough to live on by itself. What did I say? 198? ADV, Honda ADV, that was the name of it. Mine just goes blank these days. I'll get rid of that. How much did I say? 198 a week, wasn't it? So that's wrong. Let me get rid of that. So just do it in Thai baht. So 198 a week times 4. Right, 792 a month. So if we do it at today's rate, which is say 42 baht to a pound, 42. So that means I'll get, at today's rate, if it comes out at what I've just said it will, I'd get 33,264 baht. Well, that'll help, wouldn't it? You know, I mean, I know a guy out here lives on 25,000 a month, but he kind of exists. But what else are you question? Yeah, the other thing you got to remember, I've got a UK address as well. Although I live here full time, I have got a UK address. So that you've got to have a UK address. It just, if you don't have a UK address, it messes up your banking, letters from the government, anything like the Inland Revenue. It just makes it so difficult. If you give a Thailand address, you've got to have a UK address. Okay. Gravel Billy One, can I say you look good? Thank you. A few people have said that today. That must be Patty being good to me, or the sun yesterday. Vietnam Viking, is Bang Saray any good for retirement, Peter, instead of Chatham? I would say you'd probably get very bored. There are expats there, but it's just nothing there I could see. There's a few good seafood restaurants, but I think there's a couple of tiny bars in the town, but it's really, really quiet. You might like that. If you go on to the, have I uploaded it yet? Yeah, I did a 1 minute clip. Oh, you just hang on. I'm getting confused with the other place. Let me read it again. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm getting it mixed up with the other place. So Bang Saray, yeah, it is very quiet. It's kind of like, I wouldn't want to live there. I mean, the thing is with Chatham, it's quiet as well, but it's got a lot more. Like they've got a Lotus, they've got a Metro, they've got the 7-Elevens, they've got the Thai markets, they've got a few bars, good, quiet bars, but they got bars, a few girls as well, if that's what you're into. Not the A-listers, but they got a few. And I just think Charm's got a nice stretch of footpath in front of the beach you can walk down. Bang Saray wouldn't be for me. It's a lovely picturesque place, but it's not a place I'd want to retire to, certainly not. Toby, I like Chatham, but you need to learn Norwegian or Swedish to live there. Very few British compared to Scandinavians. It's strange, isn't it, how certain areas in Thailand attract certain groups of people. And it's true, there is a big community of Scandinavians, Norwegians that live in Chatham, but I wouldn't let that put you off, especially if you're going to live with a girl or whatever. I mean, there's people from all over the world there. Not a lot. Scandinavia is the biggest crowd down there, but I mean, they're not horrible people. It's not like they're not going to welcome you into their circle of friends if you go to the same bar as them. You just won't be a Scandinavian, will you? Thank you, Gravel Billy. I won't read it out because it's a bit shy to read that sort of stuff out. Regan and Carter, the Sweeney. I watched your channel for many years. Great channel, but have never watched a story vlog. Well, that's why I put out lots of different content, because I realized that I wanted my channel to grow. It's slowly growing. It's 5 years. I'm just coming up to, I've just hit 79,100 or something. So the next peak is a big one for me. It's 70,000. Now I know channels that have been running for a year and they got, look at Queen Apatia, 1,700,000 subscribers. Okay. But look at the channel. We know why, right? And there's other big channels out there. But I realized a long time ago that there's only a certain amount of people that listen to the stories. Quite a lot of women listen to. I've got stats in the background. I can see like I've got 7.9% of subscribers are women. Now they like listening to the stories. Okay, something coming really. Just finish this really quickly. So the reason I do kind of like hotel reviews, stories, food review, because I realize not every single subscriber is going to watch every single video. Certain people like certain things and they won't watch anything else. Some guys only like live streams, they don't watch anything else. Other guys hate the live streams and only listen to the stories. Different, what is it, different strokes for different folks, isn't it? Oh, okay. It's up to you. It says Louis Ferringo was the Hulk. Okay, I used to watch the Hulk when I was a kid. I never knew his real name. Kevin Chamberlain, what parking facilities come with your apartment? Well, the good thing about Bangkok, all the apartments, even the older ones, they've all got on-site parking. So, for instance, when you drive into my condominium block, you've got one level of parking and then you go down, there's another level of parking. And a lot of the foreigners here don't own cars, so there's always plenty of spaces. I've got my car and my bike down there. There's two security. There's always a decent condo block. Will always have security there watching the car park. It's all cameraed up and that is not a worry. People just don't... this is going to sound like a strange thing to say, but generally speaking, people, they don't steal like they do in the West. I mean, obviously there's crime here, but I'll give you an example. You could park your motorbike at the end of Soi 4, leave the keys in it, leave the helmet on it and put a bag on the back seat, go off for a couple of hours, come back. It'll be there. It won't be stolen. There are scammers here and all the rest of it. But generally speaking, I've left my phone, the phone holder on the bike. on my bike and gone off somewhere. And I thought, shit, my phone. Gone back an hour later, and it's still there in its holder. So it's not something you really need to worry about. Have you been to Goa? Is it Abinai? Have you been to Goa? I have been to Goa. Very nice place. You've got the fort. When I went to Goa, there was no tourists, very little tourists. So I remember I rented an old Bullet 500, you know, up the hill, and there's a Spanish fort, isn't there? If you're familiar with the area, there's a Spanish fort up on the hill. And at that time, Goa Beach, you didn't have all the sellers, the tourists. It was very little tourists there. I think the place I stayed at was called the Hermitage. It was a hotel owned by the Indian hotel group who I worked for a while. I worked in that hotel. That was they made a film about it, the Taj Mahal. You know where I don't want to say the word, but there was a big problem there. I left a year before that happened. Had I been there when they were there, I wouldn't be here today, because they were looking for white people to kill, weren't they? Daz, hi Peter. Do you know how much? Do you know much? Do you know much about the bar host clubs in Thailand? These are the ones the bar girls and superstars spend money on young men, Thai men. I wouldn't say I know a lot, but what I do know is, which is a really strange thing I've learned about, and I learned this a few years ago, and it just doesn't make sense. Some Thai girls, bar girls, some girls who work in bars in Pattaya, quite a few of them actually, there's bars that cater to girls. Like, you know, the guys going to the go-go bars and you know what they're looking for. They have a drink and they look at the girls. There's bars, go-go, I'm trying to explain it. There's go-go bars that are the other way around. And these girls who work in these go-go bars and go with customers, after work, a lot of them go to these bars that do exactly what they do, but they've got young guys, okay? And they buy these guys drinks and they bar fine them and they take them back to their rooms. Crazy, right? But that is a thing that goes on in. I didn't believe it at first, but it is true. So you get a girl, she's working all night in a go-go bar, maybe goes off with 3 customers, makes decent money. She hooks up with a couple of her friends. They go to another go-go bar, but where the guys are on stage, and sees some young, handsome guy that she likes, and they, you know, do what the guys do. It's strange. Okay, right. Look, if you're late into the stream, I'll tell you what I explained earlier in the stream. In the members stream, I put a bit more effort, because their members pay, right, into things like competitions and things like that. And I never do them in regular streams now, but just for this week only, the competitions that I did in the last member stream, which are renewed every week, I'm going to do some of them here today, just so you can see what sort of things go on. So I'm going to do, this one's called Spot the Lady Boy, okay? No, we'll do Spot the Asian Girl first, okay? And remember, the music will be really loud because my microphone's up there. So when it starts, it'll have your finger on the volume. So there's 6, the competition that I'm going to do now, there's 6 pictures of Asian females from all over Asia. One of them is Thai. Just tell me which number you think is a Thai girl, okay? You'll have about a minute. And then after we've gone through all the answers, I'll put up another video with the answers and it'll show you where each girl comes from, okay? So I'm going to start this one now. I just want the number of the Thai girl, okay? Just before I read out the answer, Max, I'm not sure your question. You say, why is it that other channels have one story that lasts for half an hour? Could they be made up? Maybe chat GBT. I actually wondered that myself, because when I do a half an hour upload every week, 30 minutes to 35 minutes, it's always a minimum of 2 to 3 stories, but they've got these really long drawn out stories. So maybe they do. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but it's a good point. Right. Okay. We're looking for the Thai guy. I'm not going to tell you who's right, who's wrong until the very end. Okay. I'll just read out the answers and you'll have to wait to the end and I'll play the video with the country names on it. Okay, so Simon, first answer of the day, you say number 5. David says 5. Craig says 5. Kevin Chamberlain says 4. Michael Ward says 2. Gravel Billy says 5. Remember, we're looking for the Thai girl. Okay, Stephen James says 6. Reggie Vibe says 3. Tom says 5. Barry Bluebird says 2. Ted N 6. Dr. Diff 1. Lance Link 4. I can't read your name out, sorry, but you said 6. Abhanit, is it? 6. URL Droid Superbot 6. Korat Freak 5. Rick B 6. Is that it? No, we've got some more. Brittany says 5. Vietnam Viking says 3. Dog says 4. Mr. Superstar says 4. There's quite a few right answers in here and a lot of wrong ones as well. Michael DiCaprio says 5. Scott says 5. Billy also 5. 5 is a firm favourite in here today by the looks of it. Paul Scarth 4. Max says 6. Sean says 6. How you doing, Sean? Simon says 1. Toby Price 5. Jeff Fried Rice says 4. And last but not, no, he's not last. Real Rennie 3. Darren 3. Mar High 2. Evan 5. The Gormless Twit says 3. Marcus 5. Am I ever going to get through all of these? Some Gabe 4 or 5. Only one guess, I'm afraid. Gabor P says 6. Bob Gray 5. Stephen Roberts 5. Daniel Hall 5. There's a lot of people gone for number 5 today. No, the Ladyboy competition is coming up a bit later. Okay. Liam Burns says 6. It's up to you. Says 4. Walnut 3. Is that it? It's up to you. Okay. I won't read all them answers. That's it. So let me just. That's it. We've got all the answers in. Let me just put the answer up now, and this will tell you if you were right or you were wrong. I'll have to shorten that next week. It's kind of goes on a bit, doesn't it? But well done if you got it right. The favourite was number 5. That always catches people out. The Filipino girl always catches people out because there's a similar look there, isn't there? I'll try and make it, well, if you remember, you'll see it in next week's stream. We do that in the members stream. Right, we were talking about foreigners behaving badly in Thailand. Now, this is a clip that I also showed in the members stream last week. So if you're a member, hopefully it won't be too repetitive for you. I just want to show everybody else what goes on in the members stream. So this was taken in Phuket. Now, bear in mind, the people who took this footage are Thai people sitting in their car, looking out of their window screen, looking into the back of this Songtel bus with a Thai, obviously a Thai bar girl and a guy in there. Now, you know, for the Thai culture, there's no petting or, you know, that you won't see people in the parks hugging and kissing. It's all done behind closed doors. These days, they'll hold hands, maybe put a hand on a shoulder or something. But intimacy in Thailand is frowned upon in public. It's just not done. And now this clip I'm going to show you, you can read the text as it goes along, but it was Thai people who actually filmed this. Totally agree. Bizarre. Who jumps out of a Songtel when it's moving like that? The guy's lucky he didn't land on his head, but foreigners behaving badly. Right. Okay. Let's get back into the comments now. Now, if I missed a few comments before I ran that last competition, you can always put them in again because I'm going to go through them again and hopefully I'll pick it up this time around. But I'm gonna kick off from the new comments now. Let me just say thank you to Karat Freak. I don't know how much that actually is. It's, well, I lost coffee on me. Okay, CHF. Which currency is that? I'll look it up afterwards. But thank you anyway. It doesn't matter how much it is. It's the thought. Right. Right. How long we've been going? Wow, an hour and 20 minutes already. URL Droid Superbot. Speaking of stories, where is Dan of Thai Talk from Dan from? I can't listen more than 30 seconds. I don't know. I mean, I have spoken to the guy once by email, but I don't really know him too well. I don't know him at all, actually. I wouldn't know where he's gone because I don't follow his channel. I don't watch him. There's not many Thai YouTubers that I actually watch these days because I've been here nearly 3 years. There's a lot of guys doing videos now. It's just the same old, like, oh, I'm in soy 6 in Pattaya and I've landed in heaven. And yeah, I just don't like watching those anymore. I mean, I used to do them 5 years ago. You know, you go to Walking Street, everybody's got a camera out, you know, and a selfie stick. And there's so many new YouTubers that have started up here in Thailand now. But most of them, I'd say 95% of them, there's some very, very good YouTubers here. A lot better than my channel. You know, some real clever editors out there. They make some really interesting content. Some of the guys, you know, they just focus on areas of all over Thailand, not just Bangkok. And they, you know, they do fantastic food reviews. And there's some really good YouTubers here, almost studio quality production, almost. You know, I'm just an old guy who pumps out a couple of videos each week, so nothing special. But you know, there's a lot of people here, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of people now have started YouTube channels, and a lot of them, I'd say 90% of them, they're just kind of like jumping on the manga bandwagon. And it's like you see them walking down Soy 6. I go to Soy 6 because Mark's office is there. One Stop Visa. I was there changing my motorbike details. But they're out between Asok and Sukhumvit. They're out filming outside Therme. You know, and there's just so many doing the same sort of videos. And so that's why I don't really watch YouTubers in Thailand anymore. There's a few, like I said, there's a few channels I watch. I could name them on one hand. And other than that, I'll watch other stuff. Gravel Billy 1, thank you very much. I don't want to read that out because I'll get big-headed. I'll put it up there so everyone can see that I don't only get trolled. I do get some nice compliments sometimes. It's up to you. You said it was 1 Japan, 4 was a Thai, and 5 was a Filipino. You got number 5 right. You got number 4 right. One was China. Number 1 was Chinese. Liam Burns. Okay, I better not read it out because it sounds like I'm bitching. Then I'll just put it up for everyone else to read. That's not my comments. Okay, David, you got it wrong. Don't worry about it. Most people do. Lance Link, you're patting yourself on the back there. Liam Burns and his... Okay, well, I'm not going to get into this now. I'm going to read them because it's interesting, but I'm not putting them up. Okay, you can read that. There's a comment there from Liam Burns. Because what will happen is if I start talking about the guy, people will send a copy, the URL link to this stream saying this guy's slating you. So I don't really want to read anything out, but you guys can read it for yourself. Yeah, do you know what? This is just a personal thing, right? This pisses me off big time. Okay, I mean, if you're not in the UK. That has a different meaning, okay? I don't know what you say in America. I don't know. It gets me angry. Let's say it the proper way, okay? So, I mean, I'm walking down Pattaya Beach Road after dinner the other evening, and there's a girl there, and she got a Turkish flag. She's a white girl, and she's got this kind of, it's like a round instrument. It's almost like a drum, but it's got circles around it, and she's playing this thing, and she looks like a tramp, okay? She looks about 25, and she's got a begging bowl next to her, right? And she's got a big sign in front of her saying "World Tour, please help." So what she's doing, she's begging her way around the world. Now, some people here might think, "Oh, fair enough. You know, she gets to see a bit of the world. It doesn't cost her anything." But that really gets my goat. You know, I mean, really gets to me. I would rather those people who want to travel around the world get a part-time job. Or get a full-time job, whatever, save that money up and do it properly. You know, you can't expect other people to pay for your round the world holiday, can you? It's just something I don't like to see. Barry, I think you got 2 and 4 mixed up. No, I haven't, Barry, because I did the competition 2 weeks ago, and number 4 is definitely the Thai girl. Reggae Vibes, well, got that wrong. David, well, $4 girl is gorgeous. $4 girl. Dog, I knew it was 4. My last travel in Thailand has been helpful. Well, if you remember, if you're like all the names I can see, like people who are members, Barry Bluebird, Max, and a load of other people here, you should remember, because it was only last week that I put that same competition out. I'm only doing it for everybody else this week so people can see the kind of stuff that we do in the members stream. Tom Benjapat, no, I won't get into it. You can read these comments. Paul, right, Paul, that's a sensible comment here. All the others have too pronounced facial features to be Thai, and 5 was clearly a Filipino. You're very observant there, Paul, but a lot of people still get it wrong. Vietnam Viking, I got Vietnam fever. I said 3 and she was Vietnamese. Fair enough. Leroy, don't watch it then, Liam. Okay. I think I'm going to have to censor some of these comments. Oh, it's a Friss. Karat Freak says it's a Swiss franc. Okay, thank you for that. Euro Droid Superbot. These are drunk or under the influence of broccoli and got encouragement from a group. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bargain, isn't it? Because a normal Thai girl wouldn't act like that. But it's just, you're just wondering what the Thais think of it. They know it goes on, but to actually see it in front of them. Okay, you said there are Brits whose English is unbearable accents. You speak like what I expect from an Englishman. Well, I guess that's because I lived in the centre of England. There are a lot of regional accents. There's so many, it's unbelievable. But considering the size of the UK, just England, forget Scotland and Wales and Ireland for now. You just take England, there's so many regional accents. You've got Liverpudlians, you've got Cornish, you've got Cockneys in London, you've got Cheshire, Suffolk. I mean, everybody's speaking different. I was raised in I was born in Haringey in London as a child, but I actually grew up in Northamptonshire, which is splat bang in the middle near enough, so probably don't get too much people used to say they thought I'd come from Bath or Cornwall, a bit of a farmer's accent. I've obviously lost that. David, how you doing? I was going to say the same. Nice to see you at the Golden Ferret on Friday. So funny, the owners think you're a famous YouTuber. Don't worry, I played along. Yeah, he's a friend of mine, really famous. It's quite funny, actually. People meet you in the street and they say they recognize you. Say, oh yeah, I watch your videos, great. Like, oh, thank you. No, I won't tell the story. I would like to tell it. It's there. David's put it out there in front, but if I tell it, you might think I'm taking the mick, and I go there regular. But it was good to meet you as well, David, and my little friend. Right, Reggae Vibes. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that guy. Thank you, Gravel Billy One. Nice comment. Wok ADM. So Wadi Car, mate. Remember her? Yeah, at the beginning of each video. Leroy, is she allowed to beg? That's a really good question, because technically you're talking about the lady with the drum, right? Technically she is. Well, she's not really working, is she? Or is she working? I don't know. She's not working because she's not getting paid a salary to do a job, is she? Or she's not getting paid a fee to do something. She's performing for nothing. And if people want to compliment her performance and give her a tip, so I guess she's not. But I guess she's allowed to beg. It's a bit humiliating. I mean, I wouldn't. I told this story so many times. I remember years ago, I'm talking 25 years ago, I was walking across a bridge on Sukhumvit, and there was a white guy there. It looked like he'd seen better days. He had a bowl in front of him, and in Thai and in English, I presume the Thai said the same. It said, need money for air ticket. And I'm like, Jesus, some people, they keep their reserve and then they lower the reserve. Then the reserve gets tucked into. I mean, how can you spend your airfare home? You're not going to have any more money. How do you get in a situation like that? Yeah. Lance, you said it's illegal to work on a tourist visa. Not a fan of busking. Lots of ties look like number 5. So just on this comment, I'm not a fan of busking. Another thing as well is, a lot of these kids who are out begging, I got a lot of flack because I put a video up on YouTube where I was walking down Sukhumvit, and where the Bangkok Bank is with the steps, you get a lot of homeless sleeping there at night. So there was a woman sitting there with 3 little girls. They must have been about anywhere between 8, 9, 10, something like that. And they were obviously not malnourished or anything like that, a little bit dirty looking. They're on the street, right? But they're, people use them to get sympathy, and they put them out for begging, right? So a tourist comes here, sees a little kiddie and thinks, oh, she must be hungry, gives her 100 baht. They make a lot of money. The Thais, they wouldn't, they'd be lucky to get a few coins off them, right? But so the point of this story is, I was walking down and I've seen these 3 little girls, and I thought, I've got girls myself. They're grown up now, but they won't get many treats because any money they get goes straight to the parents, or more likely to the gangs operating them, right? So they're not I can see they're not undernourished. They're obviously not. They're happy, they're smiling, they're playing, so they're not obviously starving, hungry. I thought, well, if I give them money, that's going to go straight in the pocket of somebody else. And there was a 7-Eleven there. Okay, so I walked into 7-Eleven. I bought 3 ice lollies. I came out. I said to the woman, who was obviously, I don't know if it was their mother, I doubt it, but I said, okay, pointing at the lollies. She was like, yeah. And the girl, all the little kiddies, the little girls, I give them all a nice lolly, and they had this really nice, terrific smile on their faces. They were happy. And as I went, they all waved to me, and I felt good, and I filmed it just to show people that you can bring a little bit of happiness into people's lives here without spending a lot of money. It's not a lot of effort. And I got so much flack on Facebook. Do you remember I said a couple of weeks ago I was thinking of shutting down my Facebook page because I just get so trolled on Facebook. It doesn't matter what post goes up. It could be the best post in the world, and I get all these guys come on. Like, I'll give you a typical one. Okay, so I eat Thai food all the time. I'm in Thailand. Of course I eat Thai food. I love Thai food. Thai food's some of the best Thai food in the world, right? But every now and again, you want something else. You wake up and you think, oh, I fancy a pizza today. Or, oh, I'm going to go, it's Sunday. I want to have a roast. I'm going to go and get a roast beef, or, I fancy a McDonald's. It's crap. I don't eat McDonald's hardly ever, maybe on the motorway. But when you live here, you can't eat Thai food for breakfast, lunch and dinner 365 days a week, right? And, I had this guy leave. This is just an example of the sort of comment that you get on Facebook, right? And I get it all the time, right? So I put this, I think it was a roast I had or something like that. And I said, this is really terrific. I got it from the old Oak. It's on 33/1. Not getting any backhanders or anything. It was just a great dish. And some guy leaves a comment. He says, eat Thai food, wanker. If you're not English, that's like jerk, So that's the sort of comments that you're dealing with, or somebody will write, I can't believe it. You're in Thailand and you're eating pizza, and you think, are these guys just having a go because they want to have a go? Or and you get this all the time. So back to the story with the 3 girls. Okay, so I made the little video, put it up, and I was really happy because I thought, people can see, how you can make these kids happy. And I explained, better to give them a treat. And I had guys write and said, oh, you'd have been better off giving them a fruit. Well, Thais eat fruit every day of the week, so that would have hardly been a treat for them, right? Fruit is so abundant here. They eat it every day, so that wouldn't be a treat. Somebody else said, oh, you should have bought them some food. Well, I've already said they weren't undernourished. I didn't want to give them money because that would go straight in the pocket. And I must have had 50 to 60 comments. I would say 9 out of every 10 were good comments, but I got a lot of people were leaving comments like, one guy wrote, disgusting pervert filming kids, and it's like it couldn't be further from the truth, and nicely a lot of my regulars kind of answered him and said that's not why he did it. He puts clips up of his life and stuff, and but I was thinking of shutting down my Facebook page, and some people said don't do it because I like your little clips. I try to put different videos on Facebook than I do on YouTube. It's not just duplicated everything, but you get trolled. I mean, you get hammered on Facebook. It doesn't matter what you put up there, you're going to get somebody criticize you. Anyway, with that, let's put a smile on our face and carry on. Leroy, okay, Kevin, Songkran starts 13th of April. Robert Koch, Pete, is the car going now if you are happy with the bike? I'm kind of 9, it's kind of 9/1, 9 for selling, 95% to sell and 5% to keep, because the bike was great, but it is hard work as well, because I'm 65, remember. But the bonus of selling the car is I'm not going to have the expense of running the insurance, the tax. It's not expensive to run it, but if it's sat in a car park, because what I do is I go down every week, start it up, run it down to the end of the soy and back to my apartment 3 times, park it up and just keep it clean, I'm not sure. Look, contact me. My email address is in the my email address is in the description. Okay, I'll give you the details of the car. Then you can look similar on auto sites. Make me an offer I can't refuse, as they say. And if I get a decent offer, I'd probably let it go for 200,000. I wouldn't go lower than that. I was going to put it up for maybe 240, try and get 220. But if somebody come along and said, look, I like your car, 200, done and dusted, no tire kick, and I'd probably let it go. Okay, it's a 5-year-old MG3 automatic 1.5, tinted windows, white. It's got a parking camera. It's had 4 brand new tires on it last year, full service last year because my daughters came over here. Absolutely immaculate inside, no wear on it at all. The outside of the body is really clean. Obviously, it doesn't rust here. I don't like to use the word immaculate, but it's very, very clean. What else can I tell you? But there's nothing else to tell. Oh, mileage, very important. It's done about 60,000 kilometers. So what's that? 50,000 miles. And it's a great little reliable car. It's 1,500 baht to fill the tank up. And I could do probably 450 miles on a full tank. Easy to park because it's small, but it's the MG3. Go and have a look at them. And if you want to make me an offer on mine, or you just want to come and have a look at it, let me know, and you can come over to the apartment and have a look at it. Okay. Where are we? Right. If you look carefully, you can see someone. Okay, we're not talking about that either. Daniel Hall. I saw the premiere play of Jesus Christ Superstar in London way back in the 70s. Okay. Gravel Billy 1. My knowledge of Thailand was the movie Hangover. So see what you have taught me or teach me. The scene in the Go-Go bar in that movie, what was it called again? The Hangover 1. That was actually shot in Tilak bar in Soy Cowboy, but it wasn't shot actually behind the bar. It was actually shot in a space next to the stage. It isn't really the bar. And then you had the Laboa Tower, is it the one on next to the river there for the rooftop bar scene. Leroy says, even within one city, there are many dialects. Yeah. In England, you mean? Yeah. Well, yeah, look at London. Toby Price, I have never kissed, held hands or showed affection to the wife in the village. Quite right too. Liam Bird, that's, I was on Patty, we're talking about intimacy, not doing it in public because the Thais don't do it. I mean, I was on Jomtien Beach, just sitting in one of those chairs, looking out as you, and there's a white girl and a guy, and they must be about 20, between 26 and 28, and the girl's got a G-string bikini on, okay, so you can see her backside as clear as bell. Nobody said anything to her, but she's floating on one of these big rubber rings, so her backside's out of the water, and the guy's got his 2 hands on her backside like this. He's just there, and she's floating, and he's got his hands there, and it's like you just don't. I mean, the Thais didn't say anything, but you shouldn't really do stuff like that. Okay, Guilty Traveller, late to the show, never used your money exchange, did the other day in Pattaya, and shame on me, hungover. She gave me the maths and dropped from 33.5 and US dollar 32.5. Cost me 400 baht. Be careful. Yeah, always when changing money, be very, very careful. Ivan, APW, I got knocked back by 2 different birds at Therme Cafe one night last November. Literally couldn't get laid at a brothel. Looks like you're white. They don't want white guys. They want the Koreans and the Japanese. They're the big payers. Max says, looking forward to the Bangkok International Motor Show at the end of March, especially the hostesses. We can't have them in Australia, not politically correct. There's a big one going on in Buriram at the moment. I'm not really into motocross and stuff like that, but there's something happening up in Buriram. Scott Green, new guy, did brown eye back of the bus pull his pants down? I didn't look at that much detail. Stephen James, 200,000 Thai baht sounds low for only 60 kilometer miles. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of talking. The problem is in Thailand, if I advertise it somewhere, it's going to be bloody hard to, Thais come around looking at it. And I think they're only going for about this particular car. When I looked last time, people are advertising them anywhere between sort of 240 and 270, so if I decided to sell it, I just sell it cheap to get rid of it quick. Nothing wrong with it. Max, I'm keen to talk about your car. Have to get one for my lady next month. Well, if there's anybody in here who's serious and that they're actually looking for a car or they're considering buying a car and they want to have a look at mine, at least you can come along and have a look, and we'll take it from there. Leroy, I mean, even it'd be hard to do a test drive around there. That's the only problem. We can, but it's like so much traffic on. I live near Nana, right? So I don't know. We'd have to go around. We'd have to go around to Queen Surrogate Centre and cross over Assock. It'd probably take us about an hour to get around there, but you've got to drive it, haven't you? Stephen says 60 kilometers. Sorry, only 40,000 miles. Okay, it's low, isn't it? Leroy, I mean, even my tiny city, one side of the river talk different to the other side. 4 miles out into the countryside, they talk different there too. Okay, right. Okay, so let's do another competition. Still got 200 in. I had a lot more than that earlier. It must be somebody else's live. The only problem is when you do a live stream in the daytime, there's other live streams on. I know down in Pattaya, what's his name? Nick does one, doesn't he, in the afternoon? He gets like 600 people in or something like that. And there's various people who do live streams. I'm quite happy with a couple of hundred people. Right, okay, spot the ladyboy. There's 2 pictures, okay? One of them is a genuine Thai female. The other one is also genuine Thai, but a ladyboy. I want you to tell me, and remember the music's going to be loud, right? I want you to tell me which one is the ladyboy. I'm not looking for the lady, I'm looking for the ladyboy. Which number is the ladyboy? Do you know what? Because I did that competition last week for the members, I've actually forgotten which one is the lady, but I have got the answer for you. So what I'll do, same as the last competition, I'll read out what number you think it is, and then at the end I'll put the card up that shows you who's who. Okay, so Michael Ward says 1, Vietnam Viking says 2. So already we've got one right answer, one wrong answer, haven't we? Vietnam Viking says 2, Karat Freak 1, Stephen James 2, Leroy 1, David 1, URL Droid Superbot 2, Gravel Billy. I want to look at. Okay, email me. My email's in the description, okay? Marcus, both. No, I have done that before. It's not. There is one woman and one ladyboy. Max says 1. Reggae Vibe says 2. Dr. Div says 3. Willie, can't make up that last name, says 1. Simon Beckwith 2. It's up to you 2. Stephen Roberts 1. Scott Green says 1. Doug says 1. Simon Goodison says 1. Leroy, both look like ladyboys. So one of them is a real female. I haven't made a mistake. I can guarantee it. Mr. Superstar says 2. Gravel Billy says 5. Both says Snore. Lens, is it? No, there is a woman there. Paul Arnott says 1. Gabor P 2. Kevin Chamberlain 2. Some Gabe, is it? 1. Craig Mitchum 2, Alex can't say the last name 2, Even APW 2, Paul Pablo 2, I'm getting there soon. Brittany says 2, Wok ATM says 2, Lance says 2, Cliff says 1, Doug says 2, Jeff Fried Rice. How you doing, Jeff Fried Rice? Haven't seen you for a while. Says 1. Right, let me put up the answer for you and see if you got it right or wrong. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong one, isn't it? Good job, we've done that already. So that was quite a difficult one. The reason being is because the lady in black, she had quite large hands, didn't she? Some women do. And the giveaway normally with the lady boys is big hands and big feet. So I hid the hands of the lady boy and I showed the lady. And that's what caught out a lot of people. But that's just to give you an idea what we do in the member stream. So every week there's a brand new competition. There's always at least a spot the lady boy, spot the Thai girl. Sometimes we do some Hooters girls, same sort of thing as a Thai one. I do a load of jokes, various funny clips, and of course a manga minute as well. And I do new ones every single week for the members. Okay, so it gives you an idea. It's very, very cheap. It's like £4.95, and members get early access to videos as well. The stories, they get to look at them on a Tuesday, whereas everybody else it's on a Saturday. And I normally put out an extra members video on a Saturday, although I haven't done one this week because I was away in Pattaya for the week. I just haven't had time to do one. Right, just really quickly, before we get into any more comments, I'm going to do this real quick because the comments are coming in thick and fast now. So people are asking about if you live here for over 6 months, you're supposed to get a tax ID, okay? And some people are saying, well, don't worry about it till they come chasing. Other people are saying, no, I'm going to go and see a tax consultant. And people are always asking, do I really need to get a tax ID? So, excuse me. So that's what the Thai Inland Revenue, the government, are saying is if you live here for more than 6 months a year, you need to get a tax ID. Even if you don't pay tax, you have to get a tax ID. Now, I've kind of, for now, I've kind of ignored it because one, I haven't brought any money into the country for about 8 months because I normally bring it in once a year and a lump sum kind of thing, and then that will last me for the year, which I've done for the last 2 years. But I'm getting fairly lowish on funds now. I'll have to bring in some money in the next sort of 2 or 3 months. Now, some of the bank accounts that foreigners own that are dormant, the banks have said they're going to close. You know, they've been investigating various bank accounts to make sure everything's legit. There's no money laundering going on or anything like that. They're really scrutinizing foreigners' bank accounts at the moment. Okay, that's what's big in the news at the moment. Now, a youngish guy who teaches out here sent me an email yesterday. I've printed it out to read out to you. Now, this is supposedly from the Krung Thai Bank, okay, one of the big Thai banks here, okay? So he gets his salary paid into his bank account, and he makes a little bit of money online as well. And sometimes he'll bring over £300 a month, other times £600, depending on what he makes. But he suddenly got this from the bank out the blue. Now, somebody told me they think this is a scam, but I don't think it's a scam because it's got the bank's phone number in it, okay, the genuine number, okay? So I'll just read it out to you. So this is what he received. He's up and running, works here as a teacher. He's got his bank account. Everything's legit. Okay. Urgent, please contact your nearest or most convenient Krung Thai Bank branch as soon as possible to update your accounts maintained with us. Well, what do you mean update them? You know, right? As required by the Common Reporting Standards, the CRS, and the Foreign Account Exchange Compliance Act. After review of your account information, you may be a tax resident of a CRS participating and or reportable jurisdiction or a United States person under FATCA, or the information submitted by you to the bank contains incorrect and or incomplete information in accordance with CRS and FATCA requirements. For more information, please contact the Krung Thai Contact Center, and it's got their number. Now, the thing is, what I think is happening now is from that, if that's all legit, which I think it is, I think what's happening is if you're a foreigner, you've got a Thai bank account here and you've had it up and running, and there's no funds really going into it, I don't think anything's happening with you at the moment. But because the banks are looking at all the accounts, if there's regular money coming into a particular account, they want to know where that money's come from. That's the first thing, okay? You know the story, what happened. If you don't, I'll tell you. You let me know. But obviously, this guy's having money put into his account, and they're thinking, well, you're obviously getting paid money while you're in Thailand, so you're a tax resident. So what they're going to do, he's going to go along there. They're going to send his information to the tax office, and the tax office will probably then contact him and say, you need a tax number. If you're in a country where you have a treaty, you're okay. I pay tax in the UK, and we've got a treaty. Thailand's got a treaty with the UK. So presuming if I show my tax return, I won't have to pay any tax here in Thailand. But what basically happened a couple of weeks ago, you know, these, I won't say what country they're from, but these people who ring you up and they say they're from Microsoft, and you've got, or they say they're from all sorts of different companies, you know, they're from PayPal, they're from all these different companies, you know, Hewlett Packard, and they'll call you up out the blue on a false number. They put it through a VPN, so it looks like they come from America, and they'll say, hi, my name is John Wilkinson. I'm in California. I'm a certified Microsoft technician. We've detected scam. Hackers are inside your computer. Then what they do, they tell them to download the scam victim, to download some software like AnyDesk, and then they get onto their computer and they pretend they've accidentally put too much refund into the account, and they get the vulnerable person to send money to their, and it's all a scam anyway. So there was two guys here from the particular country I won't mention, but I think you can guess. And what they did, they got one of the agents, it wasn't Mark, it was somebody else, to open up a couple of bank accounts from here in Thailand. And within a matter of days, they transferred, I think, it was something like 128 million baht. And what made it even worse, it came from a cryptocurrency account. Okay, so the banks immediately ceased opening bank accounts for foreigners and did an investigation. And bank accounts can still now be opened, but not quite as easily. And they are scrutinizing every account. So I'm just wondering, I'm going to bring some money over in the next month or so. And I'm wondering if I'm going to get a letter like this. I hope I don't. But if I do, I'll have to deal with it. That's one of the things about living here. You know, you have to live by their rules, right? Okay, let's go back into the nearly 2 hours now. Let's do some more comments. Right, I'll put that up there. Thank you, Vietnam Viking. David, it's so hard to tell. It's easier when you see ladyboys in the street. They overreact a lot as well. Michael Ward, 50-50 shot, and I still get it wrong. Max, oh no, I'm in trouble. Marcus, I can't pronounce your second name, Marcus. That's scary if you're drunk, laugh out loud. There are guys, I've said this many times, there are guys who are straight 99% of the time of their lives. You know, they like women, they got girlfriends. But when they come to Thailand, one guy in particular I spoke to one time, he goes with ladyboys when he comes here on holiday. And I was like, well, what's the deal? You're not gay. I know you're not gay. And he says, I don't know. It's just something I do when I come to Thailand. I have the odd ladyboy. I didn't get into details how far he takes it, but, you know. People do. Martin, how are you doing? It's too early, Peter. I haven't walked the dog yet. Why the morning stream? It's actually an afternoon stream. It's an unscheduled stream. I'm not supposed to do a stream today. The scheduled streams are in the evening, like they are every 2 weeks. I do one every 2 weeks now. But every now and again, like it's too hot to go outside today. I've been out today, but it's really hot. So I just thought I'd chuck up a stream. So it's not scheduled or anything. It's just, you know, if people want to watch it, they can watch it. And if not, then they can't, obviously, right? Yeah. Gravel Billy one says it's hard to tell from a picture. Jeff Fried Rice, it's amazing, but she's a man. Some of them have had the operation, you know, the post-operation. They've had the tackle removed, basically. I think I'm getting a cold. I can feel my throat, like I can feel some, I don't want to be too descriptive in case you're eating your Sunday dinner, but there's a lot of flu around at the moment. And I've got the aircon on 21, and on a stream, I normally have it on 25. I have a fan on when I'm not doing a stream, but it's too noisy. I've got it on 21. And I feel really hot. You can see the beads of, you know, you see I'm getting a bit wet here, and I can feel something in my throat. I hope I'm not coming down with something. Yeah, Leroy says you will know when they talk to you. Yeah, we've got to pay our taxes, unfortunately, Scott. Okay, you're saying that it's an email, but I know what you mean. That letter is for Americans only. It has to do with the internal regulations. Okay, so maybe it's only the Americans who are receiving it. Okay, I won't say it, but yeah, you are correct. A lot of people saying the same thing here. Yeah, that's a good. I've watched a lot of his videos. Scammer Payback. He's the guy who puts on a purple wig and he pretends he's. He sounds like on the phone. He sounds like an old granny, you know, and he plays them along for like up to 10 hours, you know, wastes their time, and you know they have rants. He gets these gift cards and he pretends he can't hear properly, and he's like. The scammer saying, do not redeem them, do not redeem them. And she's like, yes, honey, I'm redeeming them. And the guy's losing it, and he's shouting down the phone, do not redeem, do not redeem. They're quite clever videos, actually. Another one I like to watch is a guy called Pleasant Green. He always catches out these scammers that are in Nigeria. You know, they send out, they send emails, they get contacts from Facebooks and stuff. They just pretend they're other people, and they try and trick you into, you know, buying stuff, or, you know, some guy has left 10 million in an account and they want to use your account to put the 10 million in, and they'll give you 10%, and it's all nonsense, you know, but some people fall for it. But it's a good channel, Pleasant Green. I don't know about that, Leroy. You're talking about the ladyboys, right? Dr. Diff, it's 3:20 a.m. here in Denver. Can you not sleep? Gravel Billy 1, thanks for the live stream. Yeah, it's 2 hours now. I'm going to knock on the head. So I've got one more Monga minute to go. One more, that don't sound right, does it? I've got another Monga minute to play before I end. I'll keep it going for a while longer. Leroy, they're very aggressive, two old people. Yeah, they are quite aggressive because they're actually, although some of them look like real, well, a lot of them look like real women, they've still got the male genes in them, haven't they? So they can be very aggressive, you know. Okay, so you watch Pleasant Green as well. I like that bit of music he always plays because he gets them to click a link, doesn't he? And it comes up Nigerian. It always has that funny bit of music that comes up. He doesn't put out enough videos for me. I could watch a lot more of his. Martin Ryder says, where's Paul Hoskins? He was in at the beginning of the stream, Martin. I haven't had any comments from him, though, so he probably just popped in to say hello. Right, Alibaba and the 40 ladies. Lots of Viet ladyboys on Soy 4 nowadays. And unlike the Thai ladyboys, who will always admit to being a ladyboy when asked, my prospective customers, the Vietnam ladyboys will lie outright. Be careful. Good point there. Where's Appleyard? We are in Bangkok from the 20th of May. Hope to catch up. Yeah, give me a shout when you're here, Wes. I mean, sometimes I'm free, sometimes I'm not. I meet a lot of viewers. I met quite a few viewers in Pattaya this time around, at least 6, 7 people. I was having lunch in the I think I am getting a cold. I was having lunch in the Royal Oak with a friend today. I was sitting here, and there's a guy came in. He sat down with his girlfriend or his wife, I presume, about my age. And he just said, "Oh, I watch you on YouTube," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." You know, so I think there's a lot of people recognise you who don't actually say hello to you. A guy wrote to me the other day, and he said, "Oh, I was sitting behind you in the Golden Ferret the other day," and I wrote back and said, "Oh, you should have come and said hello," and he said, "I didn't want to disturb you." So fair enough. Right, Franco, you've had your Sunday roast, have you? Did the bike behave on the way back? How much petrol did you use? Brilliant. Sorry, I think I'm getting a cold, Franco. I'm just digging everything out. Right. So the bike was really good. It was it's an 8.5 litre tank, and I filled it up before I went to Pattaya, and I used half a tank. So I'm presuming I could have gone down there and got back on a full tank. I wasn't going to risk it. I mean, I filled it up when I left Pattaya. So I probably only 4 litres, 4.5 litres maximum to get down to Pattaya. Didn't pay any toll roads, obviously, like I do in the car. It was very, very hot coming back. I was only wearing like a T-shirt, not even a polo. I had earplugs in and my helmet with the visor down. I had someone on the back, and I had a full top box as well. I've actually bought some canvas panniers off eBay. They're only eBay off Lazada. You know, it looks like a saddle, right? So what happens? You lift the seat up, the material goes under the seat, and then 2 bags hang on each side of it. And it had a picture of a Honda Click or something. They're universal, so I could stick a bag of laundry in there or something, because the top box is big and I got everything in there. But the problem is coming back. Somebody had bought me a bottle of whiskey. Franco had bought me 4 tins of mousse, because I put a bit of mousse in my hair. The laundry was in a bag, so it wasn't nice and flat like when I went down, and I struggled to get it all in. Luckily, I could get some of it under the seat as well. But I thought for 240 baht, they would, in England, they cost £100. You know, it's like, how much is 240 baht? 8 quid, £9, $10, $11. I thought, well, it's worth a punt, isn't it? Get it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I've lost $10. You know, Aussie living in the USA. What about the ladyboy scammers? The ladyboys, generally the ones that aren't good, they try and grab gold chains. Okay, they're out almost like predators out at night, you know, looking for guys who have had a bit of drink, who are wearing a nice gold chain. My friend Bob, he was in Soy 11. He has a nice gold chain on. Ladyboy tried to grab his chain. He managed to duck down so she couldn't get it. On the way up, she actually punched him in the face. He had a black eye, you know. And the tuk-tuk drivers down there said to Bob, they said, "You better get out of here. She's crazy," you know, or he, however you want to look at it. Paul Pablo, MG3, it looks a nice car. They have a hybrid version in the UK. Yeah, mine's a petrol. It's I put 95 in it. I can go into a garage and tell them to fill it up with the right petrol, and I tell them in Thai. It's nice when, not so much in Bangkok, but when you go out into the countryside a little bit and you pull into a gas station, you can see them looking at, oh, farang. You know, I'll go up and I'll ask them in Thai. I'll say, "Galsip ha benzene dem tang cap." So what I've said petrol 95. That's the number I use. You've got 91, 95. So I'm saying petrol 95, fill it up, please. And it does take them back a little bit because they're not expecting it, you know. Stephen James, I think Leroy was referring to scammers being aggressive. Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah, yeah. Well, they are, aren't they? And they're brave because they're sitting behind a phone. I mean, have you seen, you know, some of these programs, some of these YouTube channels that you see where they're whine, you know, they pretend they're old ladies, and then eventually the scammer clicks on that they've been played for 10 hours for nothing, and he's calling them all the swear words he can think of. And this guy's, you know, the guy's, he knows who he is, he's been in his system, he's got all his files, he's been on his Facebook page, and this guy's calling him all the names in the world, and then the guy will turn around and say something like, how was your party at your mother's house last week? Does your son know where all the money comes from? What's his name again? And he'll say his name, and you know, and he'll give a lot of personal details, and suddenly it's like black to white. You know, the scammer who was calling him all the names under the sun suddenly shits in his pants literally and says, how did you get all that information? You know, there's a lot of people who are brave behind a computer screen. Leroy, if they lie, they can't cry when they get beat up. Yeah, I don't think too many of them get caught. The police in India, unfortunately, they're probably on the payroll as well, because those scam centers make huge amounts of money. Well, look at the guy who put 130 million baht in recently in Thailand from Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, from a cryptocurrency. Robert Johnson, you need to check first, but if it's been snipped off, then you could be in trouble. Just if you're into girls, go with girls. You know, you don't even mess about with lady boys. Edward, hot as hell in Nakhon Path, probably pronounced that wrong, Pathon. Thank you for giving me something to listen to while inside with the air conditioner. Well, like I say, I've got it on 21 today, and I'll never have it lower than 24, and that's normally just to get the room cooled down. And I'm really hot. I'll turn it off after the stream, put the fan on. Dr. Div, trying to slowly work around to Tokyo time for a trip in May. We'd like to go to Thailand, but the extra 8 hours past Japan is daunting. Maybe next time. I did it. It's really a long flight, and I went economy as well. This was 25 years ago. It was around 1990 when the movie Casino came out, you know, with Robert De Niro. And me and a friend said, solid, let's go and take a look at this Las Vegas. And we flew from here to Japan. We weren't allowed off the aircraft. No, we did get off the aircraft. So we flew from here to Japan. I think it took 7 hours. And then we flew from Japan to LAX, California. And that was a long flight as well, as I remember. I think it was about 11 hours. So what's that? I mean, it's a lot of hours, isn't it? And then we hired a car and we drove from California to Vegas, which took us 4 hours through the Death Valley. That was interesting. We got stopped by the highway cops for speeding, but obviously no ticket. It's a long flight. It's definitely a long flight. I mean, one of the good things about, I hate traveling now. I've done it for years, but one of the good things that I used to like about the UK is you could get on at Heathrow, have a few beers on a night flight, fall asleep if you're able to fall asleep like I could. 12 hours later, you touch down at the old Dong Muang Airport and now Suvarnabhumi Airport. Or there's people who prefer to get off in the Middle East and have a break after 6 hours and they do another 6 hours. I just wanted to always get it over with in one time, you know. Okay, Martin, the dog's whining, got to go. Okay, later. Leroy, what year is your car? It's in Tyre. I think it's 5 years old. I'll get the old blue book out here. By the way, the tax is 1,900 baht a year, and the insurance is 5,900 a year. I do third party only. For third party, and if it gets stolen, I've only insured it so that if I hit somebody or I damage something, I hurt somebody else, then it's insured. But it's so cheap to get panels sorted out here and spares. It's, you know, to have fully comp on it was about 16,000 a year. So I thought, well, if I bash it, I'll just fix it, get it fixed. Right, if you can go on to Google and convert this year, I think this is a year. It's 2563. So whatever that is in English. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a year. 2563. Somebody told me, I think it's 4 or 5 years old, but the mileage is really low on it. Like I said, it's 40,000 miles, and you wouldn't pick one up for 200,000, never. I guarantee you could look on every website, Facebook Marketplace, everywhere. You won't get one less than 220, and that'll be a crappy one. It won't be a good one like mine. I just don't want to deal with tire kickers and bargaining, and I just want a guy comes on, looks at it, sees it for what it is. Nice little car. It'll do me nicely in Thailand. It's not a lot of money. It looks reliable. I'm not going to lie to him, obviously, am I? Well, I don't know why I said that. People do lie, but the guy comes along. Just it's a nice car. I'm not going to waste the guy's time. I'll pay him what he wants, and that's why I'll do it cheap. Dr. Dave, trying to slowly work around to Tokyo. Oh, okay, I've read that, haven't I? Yeah, the reason I put benzene in it is because that's what the manufacturers recommend, 95, benzene 95. And it does run better on that because I tried the gas hole 95 and it will run on that, but it runs much better on the benzene 95, a lot better. And it's cheap, it's an extra it's an extra £5 a litre. It's not going to break the bank. Yeah, you've put... benzene is very pure. Your MG doesn't need that expensive petrol. It probably doesn't need it, but I like to use the best. It's not, like I say, it's not overly expensive. Even in my last scooter, the Click and the ADV I've got now, they'll run on 91, but I put 95 in them. It'll cost me an extra. It used to cost me about 120 baht to fill up the Click because that was a 5-litre tank. If I put 91 in, it probably would have cost me 90 baht. Same with the ADV. That's a bigger tank. It cost me about 300 baht to fill the tank. If I use 91, it'd probably cost me 260 rather than 300 baht. You're talking a pound, and I've got the best quality fuel in my vehicles. Edward Grand, for petrol, just say 9-5. Well, I'll say the number. Say Gao Ha. Gao being 9 and Ha being 5. Probably don't pronounce it nicely, but they understand me. They understand me anyway. I know what I'll put it up there, but they always understand me. They always understand me. They never kind of do that, or I have to say it twice. I just say it once, how I said it, and they get it. Aussie living in the USA. Anyone like Durans? I always get told off for saying it wrong. I hate the smell of them. I was on the beach the last time I was in Pattaya, and there was a woman like 4 chairs forward eating a Duran. I had to move. I actually had to pay another 50 baht in another section because I just couldn't stand the smell. It was awful. Okay, Ricardo says the car is 2020. Okay, so we've just gone into 2025, haven't we? So it's about 5 years old. Well, yeah, 5 years, just gone 5 years old. But it's a mileage, isn't it? And the thing is, on a car here, when you do the kind of like test or you tax it, you don't have to take it in for a test until it's 7 years old. Vietnam King again says, I did once in one Perth to Sydney, 5 hours, and Sydney to Los Angeles, 14 hours, then Los Angeles to New York, 5 hours, all in one day, but in business class. So it's still a long trip, though, but business class makes a difference. You know that when I first came over here, sold my house, and I thought, right, I'm going to treat myself. I spent £2,000 on a one-way ticket with Thai Airways, business class. Yeah, it was a lot of money. And people said to me, oh, well, I would have preferred to pay 600-700, and then that extra 1,200 I could have spent in Pattaya, and I know all that, but I've always flown economy, and I thought, I probably won't be flying again. I wouldn't say never, but not for a long time. And I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to spend the 2,000, and it was lovely, absolutely lovely. It was a lunchtime flight. I wish it had been a nighttime flight, but the bed went flat, and I laid down. It was lovely, really nice. You got real crockery, real fork and knife, like metal, not plastic. 5-course meal, all comes out on nice plates with china. Real napkins and toilets. You're not queuing for the toilets. Really nice. And you've got your own kind of cubicle as well. That's the way to travel. Mark Sanders, hi Peter, thinking of booking a flight tomorrow, hopefully getting an okay deal coming out in 2 weeks time. Just quick 8-night trip, work a few days off. People used to knock me for doing that. I used to love coming out here, and sometimes I didn't have the time, and what I'd do is I'd fly out of Heathrow on Sunday night. I'd arrive 3:30 in the afternoon on Monday, and then I'd fly out at 1 o'clock in the morning on like Sunday night, Monday morning. So I was only here. What's that? So Monday I had the evening. I was here Monday evening. I had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 5 full days with nights for fun, and then all day Sunday. And I used to go up to the airport about 8 o'clock at night because I like to get there early, And I thought it was worth it. I used to do it. Leroy says perfect pronunciation of 9-5. Thank you, Leroy. They wouldn't. I don't know about perfect, but they wouldn't understand me if I was saying it wrong, would they? Peter Wood. Mark says, what's that? Would you in future consider living near Pattaya? Would surely be a lot cheaper than Bangkok, then not too far if you have to visit. No, I wouldn't live in Pattaya. I mean, a lot of people swear by it. They love it. Some people say, Jumped in. I've spent a lot of time in Jumped in. I lived in Pattaya many years ago for a while. It's its own little world down there. When you're in Pattaya, it's like there's a lot of people I don't want to bump into down there. The kind of people I'm talking about who are here for a short time and they just don't know how to behave themselves. The thing with living in Bangkok, it's a flagship city. It's got everything. I mean, it's a really world-class city. The transportation, the international food. Some real educated Thais are here. Fantastic infrastructure. They've got theatre, they've got opera. I don't like any of them, but I'm just saying, got theatre, they've got opera, world-class cinemas, concerts. I mean, it all happens in Bangkok. Pattaya is a great place to go to Jumped In for 3 days and sit on the beach, or eat some Farang food. The great options down there. But to actually live full time in Pattaya, it wouldn't suit me. And if I left Bangkok, like I said earlier, the place I'd want to live would be Chatham, because by then I'll be getting really slow, and I'd like a little 2-bedroom townhouse, not too far from the beach. Get myself a dog, walk my dog every evening on the seafront, grow a few vegetables for something to do. Who knows? I might even still have a YouTube channel. Probably won't have a lot of subscribers by then, but I'll still run it. Aussie living in USA, flew business from Washington to Bangkok via Doha and Qatar. Wonderful service. But you didn't say what airline. Oh, with Qatar. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Apologies. Willie, strange how some people don't like the smell of durian. Let's say it correctly. I'll get all these comments again. Durian. I actually love it. Went into a market and smelt it like 50 feet away. I found it 2 rows over and had to get some. I just can't stand it. It smells like vomit to me. A lot of people, most people don't like the smell. Every hotel, I've never come across in Thailand a hotel that will accept you bringing a durian into a hotel. They all have big signs with a picture of a durian, a red circle and a thing around it. You're not allowed to take them in the hotels, and it's understandable. Never been to Bangkok. Pattaya, always visit there. Well, again, you've just said it yourself. You visit, okay? If you live here full time, there are a lot of people who live in Jumped In and Pattaya full time and they enjoy themselves. But the sensible ones have got hobbies, like David, who was in earlier. He's a big golfer, and he's met a big group of guys who go golfing a few times a week. They got a kind of club. They go out for meals together. They go golfing. He lives in a nice apartment building in Jumped In, and he has a normal life. But if you're going to be one of these guys who lives out there and just hangs around in the bars all day, that's got to be the most boring life ever, hasn't it? Right, guys, I've been gone for well over 2 hours now, so 2 hours and 12 minutes to be exact. So I'm going to give you the second manga minute that I promised you. Take a couple more comments, and I think I'm going to call it a day, because I am getting really hot in here, and I don't know why. I'll check the air conditioning when I do this. Right, okay. Second manga minute. Where is it? Here we go. Don't forget the volume, guys. Have your finger on the volume. I guess there's people who don't like the Manga Minute because I can see how many people are in the stream live all the time, and I always lose about 10 to 20 people when I do a Manga Minute. But there's obviously a lot more people like it. It's just for fun, isn't it? Who doesn't like to look at pretty girls? But there are some guys who like, sod this, and they go. Right, Max, I will retire to Thailand in the next few years. Just have to have something to keep me occupied. It's not difficult to find something to do out here, Max. Just don't hang around in bars in the daytime because you will become an alcoholic and, you know, your health will be in question there. But, you know, there's lots of clubs you can join, activities to get involved in. Just do your research. It's all out there. It's all online now, isn't it? David, love the Manga Minutes. Well, I'm glad you do, David. Some don't. Wes, Hotties, Jub. Hilco, Bosman, not hating it. David, stunning. Mark, like to go somewhere else. Leroy, few rough ones. They can't all be. It's really hard to find the clips. Actually, they can't all be. You know, tens, as it were. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could find the clips. Do a Manga Minute of Ladyboys. Richard Woolley, thanks. Thank you, Richard. Kevin Chamberlain. Mark Garvin, I play tennis there, go down the gym. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, what they do, including me, they try and get fit. You know, when I was in the UK, I was very unfit. I was a lot heavier than I am now. I didn't exercise at all, virtually. I walked my dog. I tell a lie, I walked my dog every day. But here I make an effort. You know, I go to the gym, I lift some weights. I cook at home a lot. I go and buy the ingredients. I cook some nice meals. I've learned how to cook a shepherd's pie. I've learned how to make my own roast with Yorkshire puddings. I'm not talking frozen Yorkshire. I mean from a batter mix. I've made all sorts of food, stews and nice casseroles, and I kind of enjoy it. Otherwise, I'm not really a nightlife person anymore. I take advantage of the daytime. I go out filming. I edit. You know, I like to be done and dusted on the PC now by about late as 5:30, 5:45. In the old days when I used to do other stuff on the PC, I'd be on it till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Some young guys, I guess, still do that. But I get tired now, and I like to shut off about 5:30. But sometimes I'm on here at 9 in the morning, you know, or I'm out filming. Then I come back and I got some nice shots of the ride to Pattaya for the backgrounds of the stories in the next coming weeks, so you can see what the ride was like. But look, I'm rambling on about nothing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my young lady up here ready. Okay, look, guys, it's been well over 2 hours. Pop-up streamers out 2 hours and 17 minutes. Thank you to everybody who's been in today. Thanks for the generous guys who did the super chats. Thanks to all the members. Obviously, sorry, playing all your clips again, but it's a one-off, as I say, just to let everybody else see what goes on in the members area every 2 weeks. And all you guys, look, have a great Sunday wherever you are around the world, and an even better week. And I'll be back with the regular stream next Sunday at 8 p.m. And then the member stream will be at 9:45. That's Thai time. Okay. Have a great Sunday again, and I'll catch up with you real soon. And there'll be some more videos in between. Thanks, guys.